Welcome to another live stream episode of the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew.
I'm sober.
Go on.
Go on.
I'm Conrad. I live.
I'm Phil.
And I'm Jeff.
We are all here. And
Threw everybody
yes,
off
we
there,
did.
didn't I?
Yeah, well, you got us by surprise there, Dave. But yeah, so Dave's sober. We actually got Conrad for this time around, which is good, unlike last week. But apologies for the late start. We were doing a bit of a catch-up behind the scenes with everyone's having a bit of a week this week, it seems. But hopefully everyone out there is keeping well. We've got another big session to get through tonight, as always. So King of the Riff this week is going to be a tough one. This is going to be the Crimson Idol from W.A.S.P versus Seventh Son of a Seventh Son from Iron Maiden. So good luck picking a winner out of those two, folks. We're also going to discuss some new music, as always. We're going to pick guitarists for our Builder band. We're going to play a bit of Overrated, Underrated, and a whole lot more. So make sure you give us your thoughts, say hi, all the usual stuff. Get in the comments. Let us know you're here from wherever you are tuning in from. And if you're tuning in later on, thank you for joining us whenever you do so, because we do appreciate you spending your time with us. As always, our details are in the description box. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, share it all around, all the usual stuff that everyone gets you to do. We're no different. Anything you do in that regard is gratefully helpful to us. Even just hitting the like button or a comment is greatly appreciated on anything you see, not just these videos here. What else? Check out our fantastic sponsors while you're there as well. A big thank you to Squid Ink Screenprinting, Alt-Cvlt Rockstar Finance. Their details are in the same box. So give them a like too. That'd be greatly appreciated. And while we're at it, there's also reference tracks for you to check out for all the bands we're going to be talking about tonight as well. So there's all those things there. So in case you don't miss them, or in case you do miss them, I should say, in the comments later on as we go through the show, those links will be there for you to check out anytime you want in the description box. Anyway, before we do the usual stuff and get stuck into things, let's do the rounds. And Dave, it's been a week for you, so let's start with you.
Yes. Started off good. Had the long weekend. Sunday, my daughter got a new poster for her birthday, a new Stranger Things poster. So we put that up on her wall and ended up cleaning her room from top to bottom. Spent hours in there. Next day, she woke up with a sore throat and a headache and tested positive to COVID. So, yeah, she's been off school for the week. And then Rory tested positive on Wednesday morning. So both my kids are sick with COVID. Yeah. And my wife is feeling sick as well, but she keeps testing negative. Somehow I'm feeling fine. So I don't know how I'm dodging the bullet. But it's inevitable. I think it's coming again. But they were both mostly okay.
I think COVID got the internet.
Dave, you need to make your hamster run fast.
COVID's a bitch. It just comes and goes.
Okay.
What's that?
Your hamster needs to run faster. You're very, very choppy.
You froze. That's okay. You're back.
I froze. How the hell do I freeze? I should be on Wi-Fi and data. Oh, well. Considering the week I've had, it doesn't surprise me. But yeah. Really? Oh, well.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
happy with it.
Dave, I think you've got a big delay with us here.
Anyway, moving on.
This is great.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not really
okay, move on to comment. I'll try to
all right, cool. While Dave tries to rid his internet of COVID, how are you going, Conrad?
Give it a reboot.
It's been your week as well.
Better now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into my week because it's a bit long-winded. So, but better now. I'm alive, which
is
a
good.
miracle. But I'm alive. I nearly died, which I won't go into. But yeah, I'm alive and well. Out there, you can see the sun is shining.
Yes.
You're not
What
flat.
time is it? What time is it exactly?
Wow. So I am not broadcasting from Melbourne, for those of you who are watching. I'm broadcasting from London, where the sun is shining. That orange thing in the sky, it's not a UFO.
No.
Shut up, man. It's winter here.
Which, when that orange thing comes out, people think it's a UFO over here because it's very rare.
Yes.
But it's been quite warm. It's been very warm. I've been walking around in t-shirt and shorts. It's been very nice.
Cool.
Nice.
It's been lovely. Yeah. But and I was at Download. I saw Metallica. Fucking awesome. Killer. Very nice. So I've had a rough, very rough week. But I'm out the coming up the other side of the valley now. Hopefully,
Awesome.
once I get my money come through, then I can get on the fucking piss.
Yeah, then you can be all right. Yeah.
I know how that
I'll go
feels,
out for a
man.
beer then. I'll go
Yeah.
out for a beer. Yeah.
Alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of our problems.
This is right. This is
It's
true.
very true. Hasn't changed
Oh.
over the years at
Same
all.
old.
Yeah.
Over to you, Belle.
Yeah, well, I can relate. I had a bit of a shit day today, and I just wanted a drink. Come 5 o'clock when I logged off, it's all I thought about. Which I don't know what that says about me, but it helped a little bit.
Says you're human.
Yeah, it helped a little bit. But yeah, I've had a pretty boring week. Nothing much has happened personally. Dark Mofo is happening in Hobart at the moment. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
What's that all about?
Dark Mofo. It's like it's an arts festival, I guess.
Okay.
Is probably the best way of putting it. That goes on for a couple of weeks. So they're sort of events that sort of happen through the whole time, or they happen on certain days or nights. And it's a sort of dark mofo. It kind of like goes into a bit of the darker side of life and human nature. And yeah, it's a bit kind of gritty. So there are, they're family friendly stuff as well, like light shows and that. But there are performances that are pretty much X-rated, like you get
not safe for work,
dancing, and so pretty full on stuff. There's music as well. I think there was like a black metal concert on last night, which
Cool.
We live a bit out of town, so it's sort of hard to go to things at night down here. But so that's fun. But then there's sort of the things that happen annually, like there's a winter feast that happens on a few nights, and everyone just kind of goes and has a big feed, and then so it ends at the winter solstice. That's the last day of the festival, and there's an annual naked swim. So hundreds of people jump into the Derwent River in absolutely nothing in the middle of winter, which I think is nuts.
Fuck that.
Yeah, right.
What?
I'm all for jumping naked in the river, but in winter, fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. I'd probably do it, but no, I'd like freeze my butt off. So
that's you saying you've never done it, Belle?
I've never done it, and if I do it, I'm not letting you guys know.
Very smart. Very smart.
Damn it. There goes mine. Oh, well.
So, but yeah.
Jeff's going to be cruising past Hobart.
Yeah, that's right. Driving by, box of Kleenex. Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Why not, eh?
Just make sure
it's a good thing I'm sober, because I had a great follow-up to that, and I'm watching my mouth tonight.
Yeah.
I will say, Conrad, your current frame looks like David Ellison.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, shit. Oh, no. Yeah. As long as we just keep it where it is.
What do you? No, that's your mind. Dave.
That's right. Keep your hands
your smutty
up.
mind. Your smutty mind, Dave.
Yeah.
This is THRS, not OnlyFans, man.
I'm getting comfortable. There's
I know you need money, but there's a way about it.
There we go.
Look, I can.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, here we go. Oh, we're off to a flyer. Belle, I bet you're glad you started this conversation with us.
Right. That's only Dave's mind. So,
yeah, I thought mine was dark. Well, Jesus, Dave.
I can always trust you guys to take it to the next level. Thank you.
Ooh, yeah, some of us more than others.
It clean.
For now.
That's it for me. Nothing else going on. Jeff, how are you?
Oh, I'm all right, I guess. Surviving, staying alive, doing the whole, staying alive. But wrong show. Yeah. Like this has been I did not have Monday off, public holiday, so I worked through that. So that was it's good, money wise. So I made a
Yeah.
little bit extra. I didn't even realize it was a fucking holiday. I'm like, where is everybody? Oh, it's a holiday today. I'm like, well, no one fucking told me.
You've been here long enough.
Yeah. So am I correct in saying that this is the new King's birthday holiday?
Yeah,
Charles,
it's the King's birthday holiday. Yeah.
all right.
Good old Charlie.
Yeah, well, all right. Well, that's good to know. I would have liked to have known. I probably would have taken it off, but oh well. I worked it. So what do you do? The rest of my week has just been like that, up, try to pry my eyelids open in the morning with some coffee. I fucking scalded myself the other day with that. Outside of that, it's just the same old shit. And I look forward to Thursday so much. It's my happy place.
Yep.
So I love it. So
glad I could be in your happy place, man.
Yes, thank you. You are all in my happy place. And
it's the weekend eve, which is also helpful.
This is true. It's the penultimate day. Anyway, that's me. Andrew, how has your time been?
Up and down this week. Like, obviously we're still packing. Everything's just manic, so whatever. But everything's generally speaking pretty good. The Denver Nuggets won the NBA championship for the first time in their 50-plus year history, which was, people that know me know that I follow small market teams, and Denver is my basketball team over in the States. So, yes, I was very, very happy to see that one come true. I'll actually watch the final game on the weekend at some stage and just sort of actually take it in, but it was just good to see them get the win, which was fantastic. Pretty stoked with that one, considering just...
Was that basketball?
That's basketball, yeah.
Hockey.
A team called Nuggets.
Yes,
a basketball team called Nuggets.
It's gold, dude. Gold.
Aren't Nuggets like tiny? Aren't basketball people like tall? That doesn't make sense.
It's Denver, Colorado, which is all gold mining sort of stuff. So it's
a gold.
Gold makes sense.
Yeah,
I just think chicken nuggets.
I know that.
Chicken nuggets.
Isn't that
surprised KFC a sponsor for them? That's kind of funny.
That would have been good. McDonald's probably better. But no, it was actually really cool to see them finally get up, and just a preemptive bin, like not a bin for tonight, but just something I'm going to put in there. Just the US media sports coverage of the Denver Nuggets, and just fuck off. Like, if you can't find good stories when it comes to that team, you're not paying enough attention. There's even an Australian playing on that team too, just for the record. So yeah, there we go. That's cool. But the downside for this week has been my back decided to go completely fucking spastic on me. So I've been dealing with my neck and my middle of my hip and all this sort of stuff going on all through the week. So I've had a fun week pain management wise, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. It's just what happens from time to time. But it's been just sort of, been a fun week in that regard. So everyone's having their little ups and downs, which is a remarkable timing thing wise for everyone to sort of be going through. There must be something in the air of around the world at the moment, because it's not just here, it's also happening internationally too, or maybe it's just the curse of THRS. I don't know. But either way, we're going to try and get rid of this thing and have some fun with it all tonight. I'm going to do the rounds quickly on who's drinking what. I've got port. Dave, you're on water, I presume?
Yep. Cold, hard water.
Dave.
Poor Dave. Conrad, anything in there, or are you skinned?
No, I've just got water. I have a fridge full of piss, mind you. I do have a fridge full of beer, actually. My uncle, I caught up with my uncle here in London. He's over from Newcastle. He lives in Newcastle in Australia. And he has to take off to go to Rome. I think they're going to Rome and Paris and Barcelona. So he was just like, there's a fridge full of fucking piss. He's just like, nice. Help yourself. I can't take it on the plane. I got to take it on the plane, so help yourself. So I've just got fucking stocked up full of booze.
There you go. That's a win for you, Conrad.
Exactly.
It's like 9 a.m. over there or something, isn't it? So
it's actually 12:30, almost 12:30.
Oh, really?
Belle, I'm going to tell you, when I was in Europe, I've done worse.
It's PM, right?
Almost 12:30 in the evening.
Somewhere was the rule.
12:30 in the evening. Yeah, 12:30 afternoon. That's right.
Yeah. It's always 12:00 somewhere.
That's the sun is shining.
Yeah.
Wow. That is cool.
Stop it.
Dave's getting jealous.
You got beer, you got sun. Almost died at download. Fucking hell.
I'm off to Guns N' Roses in a couple of weeks.
Now Dave's head's going to explode.
Boom. Keep it up, and I'll tell you what songs they played recently.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got him that way. Yeah.
All right, Belle, what's your drink of choice this evening?
Oh, I don't know, just some wine that was on special from Margaret River.
Aldi wine?
No, we don't have Aldi in Tasmania, unfortunately, because honestly,
how would Dave
probably would be on that.
Oh, Aldi's is great.
Well, I'm tempted to go to Tasmania for the nudity, but if there's no Aldi wine, fuck that.
Yeah,
there's other good wine. There's so much nudity in this stuff.
This is a different kind of wine we're having now.
I
know, right? What about you, Jeff? What are you on tonight?
Fuck, I'm on Cole's fucking water. I'm just doing.
Man.
Oh man, drink up and rock on and drink your fucking water. We suck, man.
Everyone's well hydrated.
We got liquids, just not choice. Yes.
All right. Let's get to some comments. People have jumped in to say hi, so let's see who's here tonight. So we've got Andrew here saying good evening. Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're keeping well out there. Same with Terry over on Facebook. Good to see you too. Nicole, good to see you again as always.
Hey,
same with Sally.
Nicole.
Sally's here saying, hey, everyone. Good to see you. Same with Sonia. Love seeing the regulars.
Hey, Sonia.
Sonia, you're one of
Hey,
those too.
Sonia.
Man family here and getting in early, saying seventh son for me. So there we go. There's someone getting in early. When we started, Chris jumped in saying, Jesus Christ, 9:10. It's like way past my bedtime. Yeah. We're working on it. Yeah. Edge Crush is here saying hello all. Good to see you again as well. Same with Rowan, as always, giving us the horns. What do we got here? Chris says, I told everyone heavy music is the greatest vaccine. So there we go. And Chris also, this is like Dave imitating Rain Man when it came to you breaking up there before, Dave, which is all good now, but it was just
it seemed fine to me. Fucking Jesus.
Yeah, no, you're good now, but you were not good earlier.
Yeah, you were very, very choppy.
You were pixelated.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, really? You were like doing the whole not safe work on your feed. Vinny says, evening legends, good to see you all. Conrad, bad times never last like diarrhea. Trust Vinny to bring it all the way back into the real important issues in the world. Guys, he's saying, hello, omnipotent hanging rockers. Good to see you again as well. And Vinny followed up with, to be fair, we should all cheer up. Collingwood tasted defeat, but let's keep a lid on that. Hey, they did, but it's only the second one. It's only the second one for this year, so I'm still content at the moment. Bash says, good evening all. Looking forward to the channel. My choice is W.A.S.P. I connected greater emotionally. However, haven't chosen too many winners. We'll see how we go tonight with that one, Bash. We got one each way so far on the early bets on that one tonight. Then we got Guy says, by the way, there's Copenhagen over here right now. Yesterday, Motley Crue and Def Leppard, Guns N' Roses Friday, lots of bands. That sounds fucking amazing. That's cool, man. Enjoy that for sure. Vinny says, £10 to see him lift his hammer. Back to Thor and his positioning.
I was keeping his hands right where they are.
Yeah. Sally says, Dark Mofo Festival sounds cool, Bells. So there we go. Vinny, Jeff, speaking of King's birthday, all horses have a birthday early August, so we'll be celebrating Camilla's soon enough.
Wow, that's nice.
Well done,
Vinny. Can't say that because he'll get lynched over there.
Yeah,
but we can say that.
Yeah,
yeah. We're gonna get Charlie dancing like the old man in The Simpsons, where he sings, "Your grey mare, she ain't what she used to be."
Nice. Like it.
Oh, wow. All right, what do we got here? Sorry, and Guy said, also Pantera Light, quote unquote. No Vinnie Paul and no Dimebag. Naturally, of course. But yeah, he's got Pantera Light about that too. It's still pretty cool. Basher says, congratulations to the Denver Chicken Nuggets Basketball Club. There we go. Nicole's on coffee, so everyone's having a good one. Darren, Conrad, are you going to the Ashes? Is that on the agenda for you, Conrad?
I certainly wouldn't say no at going. Obviously, once funds funds to see what it's going to cost. I don't doubt going to the Ashes, going to I think it's going to be at the Oval. If it's here in London, it'll be probably the Oval.
Yep.
Depends how much it is.
Yeah.
Because I don't doubt it'll be not cheap to go to.
No.
But we'll see. We'll see. But I wouldn't mind going for a day. Actually, I'd love to go for a day. Get on the sauce and fucking
be a good atmosphere.
Go watch the Australians smash the fucking Poms. That'd be awesome.
Fingers crossed.
That'd be brilliant. Only to get bashed on the way home. Get bashed on the way home on Australia.
Yeah. Well, either way. So take your pick, but. No, that'd be cool. Let us know if you do make it to that, because that'd be hell. I haven't been to one. That'd be a cool experience.
I would love to see I'd love to see I've never been to an Australia match. Watch Australia play cricket ever.
Okay.
So I'd love to.
I'd love to go too. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, they're fun to watch. Actually, they're not bad at all. Those days out,
And the atmosphere there is quite good fun. It looks like a lot of fun. Yeah,
definitely. The English do know how to do that one pretty well. I think they do it very well.
And you get quite a few. You get quite a few celebs at the Oval when the Ashes are on. You get Brian May has been. You get quite a lot of celebs there. So it'd be good fun.
I was watching a show yesterday, right? This totally unrelated show, totally taking the show in a different direction, but it was like a detective show, okay, like a sort of spy thing. The show's called Slow Horses. It's fucking amazing. Anyway, Gary Oldman, but there was a scene where they were walking out and they're going into a cricket oval or whatever they call it, cricket grounds. Yep. And above the door, this was set in England, it said Bradman Doors.
Wow.
How cool was that?
That's pretty neat.
Like, that's fucking awesome.
That's probably the Oval.
Yeah. So obviously they've named after the Doors going out after our greatest cricketer.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
That is very special.
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All
Leave
right.
it up to me.
It's all good. I'm going to get us back on track. Sally's gone weird. Strange week happening with me too. So yeah, it's something going on. I don't know what's going on at the moment. Yeah. But guys, so we've got 25 degrees here, sunny all day. So more good weather over there. Chris says Port, Markdown Goon, and 3 on the water. Rock and fucking roll. So there we go.
That's it.
But guys, drinking regular tasteless Heineken. Ooh, ouch, that sucks. Andrew says, Andrew, you should run a poll to see when we get to bed tonight, hopefully before the sun rises. Well, that will be last week. That right now.
Last week was brutal.
We're not doing that again. We're not doing that again.
No. I was like,
crazy.
What
We're not doing that again.
No.
It was fun.
Did someone mention AI, did they?
I don't know what
Excuse
happened.
me while I leave. It was just one of those things.
It happens occasionally.
Yes.
Okay.
But we're going to try and get things more on point. See how we go. Tufts here saying, G'day all. Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're keeping well. Vinny's going, CC, no dry here. I'm not going to be the part of this responsible drinking stream. Thank you. Neither am I.
Nice.
What do we got here? Chris says, fuck the ashes. Only ashes worth a pinch of shit is a piss up around a massive campfire. Hey,
yes.
That's
Dude,
good.
Fuck yes.
You're speaking Dave's language now. Yeah, there we go. A guy says last was brutal. Even I went to bed before the ending. So there we go. That's overseas.
So did I.
All right. Yeah, well, it'll be fun. But tonight we're going to get a bit more on point. We're going to, go back to talking about our songs of the week now. So,
yeah.
Straight into it. Dave is going to start us off because his pick for the week is The Cruel Intentions with White Line Denied. There is a link in the comments now. There's also one in the description box. Make sure you go and check it out and give us your thoughts as well. But Dave, why did you pick this one? The Cruel Intentions, White Line Denied.
I love this band. They had an awesome album out last year, and I'm really surprised they got a new song out that's not from that album. It surprised me. I found it was like, fuck. Actually, yeah,
it is. It's technically from the Japanese version of the album.
No one pays attention to Japan. Fuck.
Well, if you're in Japan, you do.
Apologies to our Japanese viewers.
Yes, apologies. Wow.
Anyway, and I'm sober tonight. It could be worse sober.
Apologies for offending an entire nation of people.
First was Michael Sweet, now it's fucking Japan.
I know, right? Dave's
Michael Sweet's got nothing to do with Japan, and neither did his wife.
Oh,
anyway, we're staying on track. Settle down. We're staying on track tonight. Okay. Yeah, straight up, high energy, sleazy rock and roll, party music, barbecue music. Just what we need to take our minds off the shitty weather. Not Conrad. He's having a great time. Almost died, but he's got sun, so that works out okay. Cool hook to the riff and the chorus. Oh, cool. Listen to Divine's vocals are awesome for this type of music. I think he's gotten better over time. I've been a fan since his Veins of Jenna days. So if you haven't heard this band before, check out the album they had last year and check out the song.
Nice. All right. Conrad, have you had a chance to check this one out, or are you?
I did. Yes, I did.
Oh,
I
cool.
actually got some homework done this week.
Nice.
Fucking yeah.
Yes, I got your songs through, and all except I haven't done the Michael Sweet George Lynch one as yet.
That's good.
I got the others done.
No worries.
Got the others done. This is It's sleaze bubble. It's a bit bubblegummy. It's a bit bubblegum pop sleazy, but it's a bit bratty. It sounds like a spoiled fucking brat having a fucking whinge. It's a bit of a brat rock thing. I don't know. It's a bit brat rocky. It's not the worst thing in the world. All right. It's easy listening. It's okay. It's fun. It's good rock and roll, sleazy LA rock and roll. But there are a lot of other bands. There's a lot of other bands out there that do it a lot better.
Cool.
Okay. So if I want to listen to that kind of thing, I'll probably reach for Love Hate.
Okay.
Or Wrath or something like that.
Yeah. Cool.
But it's not. It's nice to see a young band doing this kind of thing, as opposed to doing, what other young bands out there are doing, which is fucking awful.
Like Northlane.
Well, here we go.
I actually listened to some of them. I did. I listened to some of them. I did.
So there you go. That's my 2 cents worth on it. No, look, it's not offensive. Put it that way. It's easy to listen. There are worse things to listen to.
Oh, this is good. I like getting different opinions. That makes it more fun now. Getting different opinions makes this more fun, which is good. All right, let's go to Belle next. What did you think of it?
Yeah, Belle was cheering up, and then Belle just got pissy again. But that's okay.
I'm sorry.
I listened to Northlane on your recommendation,
and I want to talk to you about that because I'm surprised you did that.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll chat. All right. So I put this on, thinking, all right, what's Dave got for us? And I actually started laughing because.
Fuck.
No, because I'm not being mean here, unlike you. Last week, Andrew accused you of having a musical type.
Tell me this is the same thing. This is the same bloody thing.
It was almost like he was setting out to prove you right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like, the singer has the raspy vocals, and the band are playing a good time tune. Like, it's just classic Dave rock, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
New genre, Dave rock.
If you had a barbecue playlist, this would be on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, I thought it was a really cool song. Catchy chorus, catchy verses. The video's cool. It was like they shot it on a mobile phone.
Yeah.
Because when I open it on YouTube, I automatically go and I turn it into side mode.
Yeah. And
then it kind of was. Then I had to turn it back. I'm like, oh, that's different. So. But yeah, they just look like they're having a great time on tour. There's footage of them on stage and footage of them doing other stuff, which I really like those film clips. Bands are putting those out a lot. Trivium did one a while ago, and so did Earth. Anyway, so it was a cool song. I listened to it a few times. I really enjoyed it. Great pick, Dave.
Nice,
cool. Check out the album from last year because. If this was a bonus track for Japan, there's probably a reason why it was a bonus track because the album's actually a lot better.
Venomous Anonymous was a good one. Yeah, if you missed
fucking great album.
Well worth checking out.
I will.
All right, Jeff, how'd you go?
Well, my first reaction was it was the singer kind of threw me off a little bit. Like I liked the music. I thought the music was really good, but the singer did kind of seem like he was, I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything else of the band, so I don't have any history or anything like that. And I will check out other stuff from them. I liked it, but I did feel it was like, Conrad said bubblegum, sort of, it didn't seem serious to me. It sounded like, hey, we're just a party band. This is what we do. And the clip kind of showed that, which was kind of cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. It seemed very much like in the party mode. Hey, let's just put out a song. Fuck if you don't like it, fuck off. And this is what we do. And that's cool. I like that. So yeah, I would have, if I had to rate it, like if it was like on a 10 scale, I'd probably give it a 7. So and that's pretty good. It's better than average. So as Conrad said, so I enjoyed it. I don't know if I probably have a better opinion once I've listened to more of their shit. I'll do that.
Yeah.
So
from memory, Dave, I think Venomous Anonymous was actually in your top 10 last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, easily. Couldn't tell you what number, but definitely would have been in my top 10.
Nice.
So it's one of those things where if you like, quote unquote Dave's type, then this is going to be basically laying it out for you here. If this album wasn't in his top 10, I'll die of shock. But if you want to know what Dave's type is when it comes to music that I teased last week, this sums it up perfectly. Like, this is the sort of music that he should bang on. But it's got a great raspy vocal, but there's still plenty of melody. There's a nice hook in the chorus, nice riff, some cool guitar work in this one too. And I like the space for the bass to really rumble under it all nicely as well in the mix. That was nicely done there. It's nothing complicated, this song. They write great hard rock songs that are perfect for a party and are able to draw anyone in. It's one of those ones where it's very easy, very infectious, it's simple but good, if that makes sense, not in a negative context. That approach has also worked on the solo on this song as well. Nothing too flashy on it, but just enough of it. But it's more about the phrasing in the solo than anything else, which is what gets your attention and drags you into it, which is cool. Try listening to this one, though, without it getting stuck in your head. That hook in the chorus in particular is really, it gets stuck in your head. And I think that for me personally, knowing the album as well and enjoying it last year, I think that this song probably would have fit on the album overall too. So if you do like this, check out Venomous Anonymous if you didn't from last year, because it is a very, very good album. But yeah, I think this is a good tune. So nicely done, Dave. You did stay true to type, but it is a very nice track. All the same. So well done to you there. Let's see what we got from the audience here. Tough. Here we go. Here I go again down that metal rabbit hole. Let's see how many different songs Tough can bring into the chat over on YouTube, which would be fun. What do we got here? Guy says Seventh Son of the Seventh Son, just for the LP cover up. Okay, fair enough. So that's your pick for later on. Nicely done. Vinny, The Cruel Intentions is definitely my type. Definitely a band I've gotten into on the back of Dave's recommendation. So there are people that definitely get into it, which is cool as well.
Cheers, man.
There's chimed in saying sometimes you just need to rock out, which is absolutely true, which is what we try and do all the time here as well. Alrighty, next up. So we'll Conrad, we'll skip you through this one because it is the Sweet and Lynch track, but we'll get back to you in due course, I promise. But the next track is in the comments in the description box now. It is Sweet and Lynch with Leaving It All Behind. This comes from the album Heart and Sacrifice, which was released back in May this year, 2023. So let's see how we go with it. But Jeff, it's your pick, so you start.
Yeah. Look, Sweet and Lynch, all right? So if those of you, Michael Sweet, George Lynch, right? So classic combo. They're both from the 80s. Now, despite what Dave says, Michael Sweet can sing. He's got a fucking cool voice.
I never said he couldn't. I've never said he couldn't sing.
Incredible.
Well, that's true. To be fair, Dave has never said that. So that is true.
Well, I didn't want to put words in his mouth, so I don't want to do that. Musically, there's something about the chorus in this song that Leaving It All Behind, it just sticks in my head. I don't know. Maybe I've liked it, from the first time I heard it. But I'm a big George Lynch fan. I think of all the guitar players from the 80s, that are still alive, he's probably been not only one of my favorite, but one of the most influential guitar players on me. I've pretty much listened to everything he's done, from all his Dawkins work, his solo work, everything. And so when I found out that these guys were actually getting together and doing stuff about 7 or 8 years ago, they were doing some stuff. Now. That's right. I was very excited because it's funny because, Michael Sweet obviously is, Christian. And George Lynch is a very well-known popular atheist as far as musicians go. So to think that those two guys can work together and they're like best friends outside of the thing, that's just awesome.
That's a really cool thing. That's a really
absolutely
cool thing.
And it just shows you that there can be that union, and you can just put politics and religion, all that shit can just go beside, and you just get on with
you say that there was a festival not too long ago, actually, only a few months back, where there was a picture of Michael Sweet with King Diamond hanging out together backstage.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Which is great.
It just shows you that it doesn't matter. People are people, and politics and religion should not get in the way of people being friends and hanging out and being. And so this band is that. So for me, I really like it because it crosses that bridge. Some people out there think that, if you like Cradle of Filth, you can't possibly like Striper or something like that, which is bullshit. I think you should be able to listen to whatever you want. And as long as it's not overtly, and there are bands out there that kind of do cross a bit of a line, there's no question. But I think as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, listen to what you want.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But that's digressing. This song, fucking kick ass. I fucking love George Lynch and love Michael Sweet. So the combination, if you guys haven't heard it, get on it. It's great. I'd be interested in what you guys think now that you've heard this.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do the reverse. Let's go to Belle next. How'd you go with this one?
So yeah.
This is gonna be good.
Next.
Belle's coming tonight.
I'm sorry.
Go,
I didn't
Belle.
listen to your song.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. That's
I
okay.
didn't listen to your song. I'm so sorry. I just forgot about it.
That's okay.
I'll be honest.
I get it. Look,
Hey, honesty is good. I like that. Honesty is good.
Jeff, if I pick a song in the future,
Yep.
please don't listen to it. All right, we can.
No, I would never do that. I would never do that. I would never do that. That makes
I
you
hope
feel
was
that's
getting
because
to
you're
it.
nice and not because you're trying to one up me. But
No,
anyway.
I'm not. No one-upmanship here.
No.
Look, shit happens. Life gets in the way. I get
Yeah,
it.
no,
It's, you know,
don't ever stress. It's all fun and games. Don't worry
that's all
about it
good.
at all.
Yeah.
It's all good. All righty. Well, let's move on to Dave. It's only Dave and I left now on this one. So off you go, Dave.
Yeah. Michael Sweet has a fantastic voice. Never said that he didn't. I did say once that he should sing for Rush, and that would make a much better band. But yeah,
I get it.
You did say that.
I
didn't
did,
know.
and I
didn't know.
stand by that.
Yeah.
Still couldn't deal with the lyrics, but all good. As expected, you get these two guys together, you're going to get some cool music. Great vocals, great guitar work. You can't fault any of it. Most importantly, this is not just two talented musicians getting together and showing off what they can do. This is actually a really, really good song. Music video was really interesting as well. The inner cuts between the band playing and he getting the letter and moving on, leaving it all, so forth. But yeah, I felt the performances were great from Lynch, and the vocals were great. I never said he can't sing. Fuck.
I'm sorry, Dave. I did not mean to put those words in your mouth. I really didn't. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I stick
No, you do.
Dave, don't get defensive. You said plenty bad enough as it is. So
I know, and I stand by everything I've said. It's all documented and on YouTube.
All out there.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna watch back when I'm sober one day. And be like, I fucking said what?
Yeah, you're gonna.
Oh yeah.
And then you'll know why Julia sends those messages on the next day. That's why.
No, it's worse when she doesn't send messages. That's why I worry.
Andrew, you should just put together like a 30-minute clip of just Dave, just sound bites.
Yeah,
It would be
all
fucking.
kinds of
Oh
stupid
man, it
shit.
would be gold.
The
It would
Dave
be gold.
supercut. Oh
Yeah. You know, I used to be in a band named A Dog Named Dave. There you go. I seriously was. I was in a band called A Dog Named Dave. So there you go,
Hey,
Dave.
if anyone wants to draw that, go for it and let us know.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Some fun and games.
We were like we played like collective soul shit. We were like I don't know why.
Okay.
I just joined the band. They
Yeah.
were like into collective soul, so that's what they wanted to do. So
No.
Yeah.
It's all good, man. That's fun.
hey, it was cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
Dog Named Dave. Useless knowledge. Sorry.
Cool. Someone plug that into AI and give us an image. That'd be funny as hell. Using our Dave though. I want to see our Dave references a dog. Just fucking singing.
That would be awesome. You would have been a good album cover, like your face on a dog, or something.
Yeah.
A Dog Named Dave, yeah.
Get like the Dave treatment for the Fred Rattlehead. That'd be pretty cool.
Somebody out there could do it.
I know people that can. Anyway, for my point of view on this one, like I was saying, this comes from the Heart and Sacrifice album, which was from earlier this year. But this pair never disappoint. They're really good at what they do. This is a nice sort of mid-tempo rocker that kind of flirts with the ballad side, particularly in the beginning of it. But the way they've done this song suits Michael's voice perfectly. He's aging like fucking wine. I think he gets better as years go on. I can't deny his ability to sing. He's just one of the most talented out there, and he's a great producer now too. On top of all that, so he can sing, he can write, and he can produce. He's a really well-rounded artist these days, and has been for quite some time, to be honest. That side of the coin, though, with him is wonderfully matched by Lynch's guitar work. There's loads of feel in that, which is really cool, especially little solo moments. But this has a great riff anchoring it all down as well. But the thing about it all is that it's incredibly complementary. No sense of ego in this in any way, shape, or form. I love how the space is left also in this song for the bass and drums to shine as well, which is really cool. And a lot of these sort of projects, especially from the Frontier side of things, can almost feel like a bit of one-upmanship kind of thing coming through. But this is the exact opposite. In particular on this song, the break before the main solo, that little chunk there was fucking brilliant. And the main solo was just awesome on top of that. It's set that solo was set up incredibly well, and it's got nailed in the delivery. What a piece of playing that little moment of that song is. The song builds nicely toward the end. Like I said, it starts off sort of in ballad territory and sort of gets heavier as it goes through, which is pretty cool. If you like either of these two artists and their catalog of work, you're going to be very, very happy with this one. If you haven't checked out their work, please do so, because there's a lot of good stuff in there too. But yeah, this is a song that pretty much I think anyone can enjoy, for that matter. I think it's one of those ones that's it's a quote unquote safe song, but it's incredibly well done. It'll make everyone sort of tune into it at the same time. Not just one that everyone can accept, it's actually one that everyone can really, really get into, which I think is pretty bloody special. So well done to all involved on that. Let's see. All right, here we go. Chris says, I cannot stand Sweet's vocals. Religion be damned. I cannot stand his voice. So there we go. There's someone can't stand. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, cool. Fair enough. And to follow it up, Dave, P.S. Fuck Rush. So there we go. Chris is on a tear tonight. Chris is on an absolute tear tonight. How to win friends and influence people on the THRS crew. Tough said, so far I found a band called Louder Than Hell, Turbo Rider, and Legion of the Damned. And for some strange reason, a Neil Breen movie called Pass Through that is batshit insane. Wow. Okay, keep the updates coming, Tough. I love where you go on your YouTube benders. It's fucking great. Here we go. Vinny, Bell's reaction to Jeff's choice was similar to an unsuccessful Tinder date.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That was good. Chris says we need a poll. What dog breed would Dave be? Let's not start that one. We'll pin that one and put it in later on. Here we go. Vinny says a great Dave. Get it? Got it. There we go. Chris says Dave Russell, a Dave Cross Poodle, a Doodle. Oh, we've started it now. Chris, a miniature Dave Cross Poodle, a micro Doodle. So here we go. And and Chris has gone huge rush hugs to Jeff. So there we go. Oh, fuck. This is funny as. Alrighty, on to my pick of the week before we get to a special little bonus one coming up. So in the comments, in the description, as always, we're going to do another one now. So go and check it out. This is Lung with the Taxil Hoax, which is a new track they've released. So for context, this Aussie band, it's their first release in over 10 years. They did an EP called Parasympathy over 10 years ago, and it's been since then they've just gone quiet, and now they've suddenly come back and they've got this track, and there's more on the way as well. So if you like this one, check out Parasympathy and also get ready because there's more music on the way. Cool. Back in the day, this is back to when we sort of started the show, was when they got my attention. I was bummed when they went dark. I was like, fuck, they were really good. This one, so I'm stoked to be getting this band back now, but this one to me has a little bit of a Tool vibe, but in that world, it reminds me more of a Perfect Circle from the Mare de Noms era. That's what it really puts me in mind of. So if you like that album, you're going to really like this song. I love the mix. The feel, the vibe is great on this one. If you like your dark alternative rock or metal, this one's really going to get your attention, hit your sweet spot, whatever. It has some great grit in there too. I love the lyrics, the vocals and how they're laid in this sort of accent that nicely. There's loads of emotive weight on this track too. But there's some serious balls. Like this thing, when it kicks into that sort of grinding gear, it's really well done. It's nothing too complicated, but they've done a great job with it. I don't know how long they've been sitting on this for, but it's great now. Like I said, the vibe, the atmosphere is fantastic on this one. It's like a slower Judith, if anything, sort of, if you want to sort of compare it to anything else out there. I just think it's a really great track. If the newer stuff coming out is anything like this, I'm going to be sort of hooked for a long time to come. But yeah, this is really cool. If you like this, check out the previous stuff and get ready for more to come. But I really did enjoy this one. Let's do a take two. Belle, how'd you go?
I listened to this one.
Yay.
Thank God. I did some homework. Yep. So when it started, I thought, oh, is this a slower song? I hope it is. And then it was. Oh, yes, thank you, Andrew, because I love tracks that things slow down a little bit.
Get her in to breathe.
I'm a sucker for it. So you just not like a ballad, but just like a normal song, but just the tempo slowed right down. Yeah. It's just something cool about it. Just got great groove to it all.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know what it is. Just gets me every time. Anyway, so this has a great riff and rhythm guitar work going on. It's overlaid by this really nice kind of guitar melody. It's not even really a melody. It's just kind of, well, it is, but it's someone's kind of just playing notes all the way through, even over the vocals. And I really tuned into that. I thought that was cool. And so the vocals are great. The singer's fantastic. And then there's like some backing vocals that are harsh vocals. I thought that was cool. It kind of just gives it a bit more grit, and it sort of brings it, because it seems like a bit of a timeless song. I mean, this song could have come out now, but it also could have come out sort of 10 or more years ago.
Yeah. Yep.
You hear those harsh vocals and they just sort of bring it, it seems modern. Like they just bring it to today. But anyway, I like that. I thought that was cool. So I don't know. I loved it. It was great. It's world class. I hope these guys kind of manage to get it out there and more people hear it and get into what they're doing. So yeah, good choice.
Cool. Cheers. All right. Let's go to Conrad next. How'd you go with this one?
I like this. This is unusual. Cool. It was different. It was just a unique sound. I guess it's nice and refreshing to, in this day and age, for a band to come along and sound original. So anybody that can do that this day and age gets my thumbs up on that. So nice. I liked it. I thought it was different. I thought it had an alternative kind of vibe to it, but I liked it. There was something about it. I couldn't quite put my finger on what it was, but it was definitely a unique sound, and that for me wins. If you can come up with a unique sound and don't sound like everybody else out there. I mean, obviously there are elements of other things in it that you can identify with and say, oh, well, there's a bit of this and a bit of that in there. But if you combine it together and then use that and combine it to come up with something original sounding, then that's the real trick. And these guys have managed it. Yeah, I liked it. So it gets a thumbs up from me. I'd say probably an 8 out of 10.
Cool. All right. I'm winning so far. Let's see if that continues. Jeff, over to you.
Yeah, look, I fucking love this song. I thought it was great. I really, 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 really liked it. There was just something about it that, I don't know. It was unique and different, but it felt familiar, I guess, in some way too. I can't. It's hard to describe, and it's funny because I saw the name of the band. And I thought Lung, and then that just immediately brought back memories of many years ago, like 2012. I was putting together a band of my own, and the names. I think one of the guys, the bass player, thought we'll call the band Lung Butter. And
oh wow,
and I just thought it. That's kind of gross, right? But yeah, but. That's what it just brought that memory back. And but then I listened to the song and I was just like, yeah, fuck, this is good. So I definitely want to hear more from this band. So I mean, I didn't know anything about them. So nice to have another band that I really gravitate to, and I'm gonna dig into these guys a little bit more. So thank you, Andrew. Cool. And the whole crew at THRS delivering. I love this. This is awesome.
Nice. Well, let's see if I can get the sweep. Dave, how'd you go?
You get the sweep. This is really cool. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I've seen this band live.
Yeah, I have as well. Way back when.
Yeah. Opening for Divine Ascension at the Gershwin Room. That was a very cool night. Yeah. It was fucking good live. But then, like you said, they just kind of disappeared. And as soon as I saw the name, I was just like, that band seems really familiar, and putting it on. They haven't missed a step in like the 10 years or so they've been gone. But yeah, it's hard rock verging on metal, but it's dark and heavy. It's not your cliched hard rock that's been done to death. Small solo towards the end, more of an atmospheric thing than an actual shredding thing, but it fits the song perfectly. There are harsh vocals, but they're pulled back and they kind of complement the clean vocals that are on top. So not a massive fan of the harsh, but used sparingly like they do in this, it's really effective. It's very atmospheric. It's very heavy. It's very dark. It's very cool. So, yeah, if you haven't heard this band, definitely check it out. And I'm certainly keen for more music from this band.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Stoked. Done well this week.
You did well.
Well done. All right. We do have a sneaky bonus, though, but I'll get to some comments first. What do we got here? Vinny says, at this rate, we're going to go as late as last week. Went to bed so late that I dreamt I was a car muffler. Woke up exhausted. Well done.
Where do you get this shit?
I dreamed I was running in front of a car and I woke up tired.
Here we go.
Never ends.
Vinny also says, your choice, give me perfect circle vibes. Andrew going to deep dive on this one. Cool. Nicely done there too. But then Tuff says, I did what kind of dog I am and go stupid ass battered down. So there we go. Keep trying, Tuff. All right. So from the bonus category for this week, we have one from Alice Cooper called I'm Alice. There's a link in the description. It's also in the comments now, so go and check it out. Dave, you wanted to push this one in. We're doing a special bonus track this week. So we know that you're the biggest Alice Cooper fan we have amongst us, I reckon. So I know you love it, but tell us why.
It's Alice. And he says, I'm Alice. What are you going to say? I'm Alice. But yeah, I'm an Alice fanboy. I fucking love everything he's done. But this is enough. There's enough in the lyrics of this song alone to get me interested in what this upcoming concept album could be about.
Yeah.
Album's called Road. Song's called I'm Alice. It opens the album. There's like 13 songs. Alice kind of talking to himself. He's made it very clear in recent decades he can separate himself from the art. He needed to for his own sanity.
Yeah.
But this is, I've got a feeling it's going to be like a career retrospect type thing. Many miles traveled. That's part of the blurb of what they're doing. So really keen, based off this song, just to see what the whole album is going to bring. Band sounds great. There's a cool solo. I like how the solo just continues old school through the last chorus all the way out to the end. Reading up on this album, Nita Strauss actually plays on this. Finally, she's been playing live with him for over 10 years. Never recorded a note until he guest starred on her song. She's on this album, so I'm fucking stoked for that. Plus, it's got his normal band, so yeah, really keen for this. But this song is just fucking cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Conrad, how'd you go with this one?
I didn't get to this. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
I got to those other two.
Yep.
But this one was added on a bit later.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It was very last minute, so no worries.
This was a last minute thing, so I didn't get to this. But to hear that Nina Strauss is recorded on it, and just the fact that Alice is still going, as long as today is releasing new material, I think that's fantastic. That's brilliant.
Yes.
So I will be very interested to listen to this and the album.
Yeah.
And obviously to have Nina back in the band, I think it's great that she's back, and it's I'd love to see him yet again. I've seen Alice countless times now, probably over 10 times now easily, and never disappoints. Always puts on a fantastic show.
It's phenomenal.
Always has a great band with him, so really looking forward to hearing this new record and tour.
Cool.
And seeing it tour, by all means. I'd be keen for it.
I don't think you're alone. I think that's pretty much all of us in a lot of respects. But let's go.
He manages to do Australia a lot. He comes
to
Australia
which is
quite a lot.
Yeah, he loves it over here.
I think on average, he'll do Australia every couple of years.
Yeah, I think it's every 2 to 3 years at most.
Yeah, he goes out there quite a lot. He's, and he plays, like, sometimes he'll do like an arena tour, and then he'll do places like the casino and do shows there as well.
He's done some odd places.
Yeah, so he's,
he's good.
Yeah.
All right, Belle, how'd you go?
I've never seen Alice Cooper.
I have.
You really?
Wow. Yeah.
If you get a chance, it's one you should see. It's well worth
it.
I know. I don't know why. I've always wanted to.
It's great.
Never, I guess, has happened at the right time, and
that's one of those bands happen.
He's been here a lot.
Yep.
But it's a magic. You're getting a magic show. You're getting a magic show with a heavy metal show. It's like a magic show crossed with a heavy metal show.
That's it. That's right.
Yeah. It's an illusionist show with a heavy metal show. It's great.
I mean, I don't know. Like, this might be, if he comes to Australia on this tour, it might be the last time.
Possibly. You'd think it's getting there.
When Mick Jagger retires, give Alice 5 more years. Alice says he refuses to let Mick Jagger beat him.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Mick Jagger retired.
That's cool. I like that.
Okay.
How old's he
That
now?
one worked out.
Alice is 75, I think.
75.
Look it up.
Wow.
They're getting there. They're both
Oh my
getting there.
God. I can't believe he's still putting out new music.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
But what a bloody legend. Oh,
Yep.
I love it. He's cool. And yeah, look, the song, that just kind of feeds into the song, like his voice. It just sounds the same. It hasn't aged. Like
I agree.
It had the Alice Cooper grit, but like it
Hats
wasn't
off to
like an
him.
old man voice. 75. Yeah.
75.
Wow. There you go. He's doing well.
I've got to do it. I've got to do it. I hope he comes out because I will go. So yeah, look, this song is cool. It's classic Alice. How can you not like the song? Who wouldn't like it? It's just awesome. You know, the lyrics are awesome. He has earned the right to say, "Here I am, people. This is what I do. I'm Alice," and it doesn't seem pretentious at all. If a younger artist were to say that, it would. I think that's my opinion.
No, I get it. Yeah, he's got a certain gravitas to him now that's natural.
Yeah, but not just that. Like, he's done his time. He's been doing this how long? 50 odd years.
Plus years,
yeah. And he's still as popular as ever. I'm Alice. Like, this is me. Anyway, so like this song, I imagine you'd see it live, and he'd turn it like, okay, I haven't seen him live, but I have seen footage. So he would turn this. There's a line in there where he talks about this, like he says, "And now I disappear." Like, surely he has to turn that into an illusion. Or he's Spanish off the stage.
He'll turn it into a magic trick. Yes.
Yeah. It's almost like it's set up to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what you want, surely. I think it's cool that he's got Nita playing on this song and the rest of the album, I assume.
Yeah.
I rate her so highly. She's awesome.
She's awesome.
All her stuff's looking really good this time around too.
Yeah. I can't wait for this and her album to come out as well.
Yeah.
That's not what we're talking about, but I'm really keen because she's got some cool stuff on there. So yeah, bring on the new album. Both new albums.
Cool. All right. Jeff, your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I fucking love this song. As soon as I put it on, I listened to it. I'm like, oh, I gotta hear that again. And then I listened to it again, and then I gotta hear it again. And I listened to it about 5 or 6 times in a row, one after the other, and I just fucking loved it. That spoken word thing,
that is
how cool is
just fucking brilliant. It's so good. It gave me goosebumps. I was like, wow, this is awesome. And this is Alice. Now I saw Alice in 1989.
Wow.
Okay. In Ottawa, Ontario, the capital of Canada. He played there, and the band Great White opened up.
Oh, wow.
So a long time
That would
ago.
have been
And what's that?
The Trash Tour?
The Trash Tour. Yeah, it was the Trash Tour. That's right.
Yeah.
And because that album Trash was like it was like a renaissance for him. He
was his big comeback.
Reborn, right?
Yeah.
And it was it really had some big hit. That song Poison and stuff, just huge, right? But look, I still remember to this day, and that's how many years ago is that? That's 34 years ago. 34 years ago that I saw him. Yeah, in '89, and I can remember him walking on stage, and he had this sword cane thing, right? Well, it looked like a cane at the time, and there was this girl, and she was walking around the stage, and he was singing the song, and he was flipping his cane around, and she was annoying him. She was poking at him and stuff like this, and we're like, well, "Who the fuck is this?" Like, no idea. And then in the middle of the song, he fucking pulls like it's a sword cane. He swings around and he lops her fucking head off, and her body crumpled to the top. I'm like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it. And her head just rolls across the stage, and her body just crumbles. And then the lights go out. I'm like, I've never seen anything like that in my fucking life.
So
cool. And I read 34 years, I still remember that. So wow.
That's special.
So if he comes back, I'm going. I'm definitely going. So yeah, this song, fucking awesome. I want more.
Nice. Well, it is from the upcoming new album Road, due August 25th, 2023. And like Dave and everyone else has touched on, this album has been written with his touring band. And I think that's the first time in his career he's done that. If I'm correct, Dave, you might know better than me on that front. But
I think so, at least in the last 20 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time anyways. And having that along with Bob Ezrin producing is just the icing on the cake for me with this sort of stuff. Look, Alice is timeless. He really, really is. His vocal style with that sort of almost spoken sort of touch to what he does is aiding that. But in amongst that, you've got the melody, which just sounds like classic Alice. He's one of a kind, and we should treasure him a lot more, I think. This one, though, this song in particular feels like a throwback to vintage Alice, like, you know, want to be elected kind of era kind of thing. It feels like a real throwback to the old school stuff. Some very clever wordplay in this song. Great use of tempo shifts across it as well. It pushes along nicely, but the chorus with the drum change, like the way that rhythmic shift moves, it works so well. And I love that the really melodic part that is perfect, like the melodic melody, sort of the backing vocal thing, where there's a part there where you can almost imagine Alice is going to step back from the spotlight and the band are going to sing for a bit, and he'll sort of conduct in the background like he does when he's doing the whole I'm leading the show kind of thing. There's a moment in that song like that. That bit of the chorus there is really cool. But that moment that you touched on, Jeff, where that spoken bit in there, which is just, oh my God, that was fucking perfect. Like that was just,
yeah,
it sets up. Like this is the opening track for the album. It's the first single from this thing, and it just sets everything up. So I'm sitting there going, oh wow, we're in for a bit of a ride, I reckon, on this one. Look, if this is anything, we're going to get more taste between now and August, obviously. But, you know, I'm looking forward to this one already on one single, and I'm hoping everyone else does out there as well. If you're a fan, especially if you like his older stuff, you're going to really, you know, get your itch scratched by this song. This is really fucking impressive, actually, and well done to everyone involved in it. To still be putting out, like, the amazing thing about Alice's career is that nothing is ever phoned in, and it always sort of evolves, which is just remarkable. He's just been he's like music's chameleon. He is so good at what he does and just never fails to impress. And this song, Chef's Kiss, is another great example of just how, you know, talented the man and the people around him are. So yeah, looking forward to much more to come, hopefully soon enough. What do we got here? So Chris says this live song sounds really textbook, mid-tempo, expected riff 101, uninspiring lyrics, hard pass. Wow.
Ouch.
Wow. Wow. But then Anna, good to see you, has chimed in. He's inspirational. So there we go, getting some love there from Anna. Good to see you. Thanks for jumping in tonight and saying hi. Yep. Vinny says listening to Alice is like reacquainting with an old friend. I like it. Nice there too.
Perfectly said.
Perfectly true, actually. And Sally said, yes, yay, Alice, we remain unworthy. And that is every single one of us, I swear. Basher says, looking forward to Alice's new album as the last one, and many others are fantastic. Bell, Alice and his band is amazing live. Last saw him 2020, first in 77. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Wow. So that's a hell of a record there, Basher. Well done, man. That is impressive.
That's a recommendation.
That is. Hard to top that, but Tough is going to follow it up with Alice was the dude that got me into all this hard sounding tunes ever since I saw that Poison video clip. I was sold in Wayne's World. All I can say is I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. And that is an all-time moment right there for all of us. So much. All right. Time for a mini game. Try to keep this one quick. Bit of fun here. Let's play a little bit of overrated, underrated. And the theme here is pretty simple. I'm going to give a topic or an idea, and people get to say whether they think it's overrated, underrated, or about right. It's very, very straightforward. So the question for this one, or the topic, or whatever you want to put it as, is this overrated or underrated? When artists do albums that are, you know, showing other sides to their abilities. So the most recent example that comes to mind as a case in point for this is Mark Tremonti, known for Alter Bridge and his solo career and who knows what else. He's just a fantastic riff lord, great vocalist, all sorts. But he recently did a Frank Sinatra album. So he showed a completely different side of himself doing that sort of stuff. So is it overrated, underrated, or about right for artists to step out, to break the mold, and to show other sides of their creative abilities? Let's start with Jeff on this one.
Okay. Look, I'm not aware of this. I mean, obviously, I would like to check it out, but I think the idea is underrated. I think bands and artists need to do that because too often we find that bands get pigeonholed into these spots, these imaginary spots. And, you know, that's the worst thing that an artist can have happen to them is that, you know, that they only get thought of in that era, you know. What timeless thing that we need is, you know, bands and artists to, if they're interested in something that they like, You know, put it out there. If people don't want to listen, they won't listen. But if they do, you might find some new fans. So that's just, I think it's definitely underrated for me.
Cool. All right. Let's go Conrad next. Your thoughts?
I think it's underrated in that, and I'd like to see the metal community. Unfortunately, the metal community can be very narrow-minded sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and that they don't allow an artist to spread their wings. And heaven forbid an artist does spread their wings and want to do something different outside of rock, or outside of metal, and want to do, and we should embrace that and go, brilliant, well done, good on you, and as opposed to pissing all over it, shitting all over it, bad mouthing it, which I see far too often. So no, I'm all for an artist doing whatever they want to do and need to do, and especially within the confines of a band, because otherwise you have situations like Newstead, who didn't get any creative input, and he fucked off, and you're gonna leave. So if you don't allow your musicians in your bands to have a creative outlet outside of the band, then they're going to leave. You're not going to keep them. So, you've got to allow them that, and allow Kirk to do his solo record, and
which was worth
to do, so it's important that you allow these people to do that without controlling them and saying, no, you're not allowed to do that. You can't do that. It goes against the grain of what our band's about or whatever. It's like, no, fuck off. There's no rules in rock and roll. You can do whatever you like. That's the whole point of rock and roll, isn't it?
That's it.
That's it.
So, you got to be able to do that. And I think it's important for these artists to be able to spread their wings and do something different outside of the mold or confines of rock and roll and metal. So I'm all for it. So I say underrated.
Nice. Okay, we're 2 for 2. Belle, where do you land?
Well, look, I absolutely agree with Jeff and Conrad, and I have got notes and I've made similar points, but I wouldn't have said that my opinion was underrated, like that's underrated that they're doing that. I just think it's, if people want to create, if they can't express a certain side of their creativity within the band they're in, go and do something else. Go for it, mate. I don't think I'm neutral on it. Like it is what it is.
Right. Yep.
But exactly. So go and do that. I am not across, who's doing what. And I took this brief to mean not people in bands that join up with other people in bands and create music that is somewhat similar to the bands they're already in.
No, I'm talking about showing completely different sides of yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's how I took it. So I got that right. And so the only example I could think of is Anders, the singer from In Flames.
Oh yeah.
Over COVID, he was sort of stuck at home, and he has all these old synthesizers, and so he started creating all this kind of ambient soundscape type music. It's music, but it's not really music, and it's one of these relaxing chords and notes and sort of little drum beats, and it's actually really cool. I put it on sometimes if I'm working. I just sort of have it on, and it's really relaxing. So yeah, absolutely. I think do it. It's nothing like In Flames, nothing, but he's kind of it's a counterbalance to his creativity. I think it's awesome. But
I think it's very arrogant and ignorant of a lot of metalheads to assume that because an artist is going to do something solo or they're going to do something a side project for it to expect it to sound like the band that they're associated with. It's fucking retarded. And I see it happen a lot. I do see it happen a lot. And it's like, you fucking morons. Of course, it's the whole point is to do something different.
Exactly. Correct. Exactly right. Well put is the whole point. Yeah. I agree. I think sometimes it can get a little bit, I don't know.
Heaven forbid you do something
extravagant. A bit extravagant. I remember I don't know if Rowan's here, but Rowan posted something in Discord a few weeks ago about Mike Patton doing an album that was music and sound effects to an old cookbook. And even
interesting,
it wasn't very easy to listen to. I actually tried.
I don't think any Mike Patton's easy to listen to.
Thank you. I'm not the only person.
I think he's super talented. But anyway, that's a different topic.
So do I. So do I.
Yeah.
But hey,
We're getting off. Yeah. Yes.
This sounds like it was out, and I tried to get some sound bites of that. I didn't try very hard and spend too long on it, but I can't imagine it would be something I'd want to sit there and listen to over and over.
I mean,
it's all part of it.
The only thing I think that it wasn't embraced was Lulu.
Well,
that was not embraced. That was a side project, and it was not well received.
Well,
probably for good reason. To be honest.
It wasn't that good. That's really what it comes down to. It's like there's a difference between trying something different and it comes out and it's like, fuck, well, okay.
Hang on though, I have a point on that, which I'll get to later on. I have a point on that, which I think it's important to address. But Belle, anything else you want to throw in there?
Oh no, that's it. I thought I was neutral, but perhaps underrated.
I think you went in the underrated department. I think that's what I got the gist I got from it.
Yeah.
Well, a little less than others, but I think you're between sort of about right and a little bit underrated. So I think that's where you kind of.
I'm not in the overrated.
It depends.
Definitely not.
I think it depends how it's marketed. Like if they market it like they marketed Lulu,
I have that as a point.
Marketed Lulu like this big fucking,
Yeah, it's about the name you put to it. If Lulu didn't have Metallica, it'd be different. Yeah,
you're right.
Spot on. Was very
that's what goes
big
wrong.
Expectation. I think.
Yeah,
it was Metallica and Lou Reed, and it was like this massive expectation of it to be something.
Well, especially considering the back catalogue of both artists, it was on a hiding to nothing, basically, with what they came out with. They should have marketed it very differently and set the table, which is important for these things. But anyway, Dave, where did you land?
Yeah, underrated, definitely. I mean, you hear about these projects coming along, and a lot of people say, yeah, it's cool, get back to your normal band, play your classic hits, that's all we want to hear, pigeonhole, same shit. But, it's refreshing when you hear artists doing something completely away from their norm. I don't know how many people know Wednesday 13 has a country band called Bourbon Crow. Yep. They're fucking great. If you like dark humor and country, then check out Wednesday 13's country band. And Alex Skolnick released a few jazz albums. Some of them were covers of metal songs. That was pretty cool. And Zach Wilde has Book of Shadows with all acoustic stuff. Yep. So there's always different sides to these legendary musicians. So I love hearing people being able to expand what they do. But then I'm odd. I didn't mind Lulu, to be honest, but I wasn't taking it as a new Metallica album. I knew it was a collaboration. So we reviewed it in the past. I won't go into it, but there was a lot to take in with that album. Can't say I've listened to the entire thing all the way through in one sitting. That's really fucking painful.
That is hard. That is very hard.
But there is more than one definition of the word table, people. The meme's funny, but fuck's sake, you shitheads. But once again, Metallica, when they released Load, it's just like, holy shit, what the fuck happened? Everyone lost their shit. If they released it under a different name or you didn't know it was Metallica, you would be saying it's a pretty cool album. It's the preconceived perception of what you expect these bands to do.
Yeah, that wasn't marketed as a side project. That wasn't marketed as a side project.
That was Metallica's next album, change of image, change the style, but people lost their shit and eventually learned to love it in a lot of cases. Getting back on topic, there is a lot of stuff out there of bands stepping away and showing that, hey, I might be in the heaviest metal band in the world, but I like jazz or I like blues. And it's cool to see what makes up a musician's psyche and what all comes together in their day job. So they also get to play with other musicians, which can help them grow and develop, which is cool. So definitely underrated. I think we should see more of it.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. Well, it's a cool thing to sort of see us all pretty much on the same page here, which is actually pretty uncommon, which is good. But the I think it's underrated, and I actually personally love artists exploring more of themselves. So it works for Mark Tremonti. One of my favorite artists that I know for a fact it works for is Devin Townsend. You go back to his Strapping Young Lad stuff to things done as Devin Townsend or Devin Townsend Project, but all the way through for the Ziltoid stuff to new albums, like Lightwork last year. All very different beasts to one another, but the artist is expressing themselves. And it comes down to setting the expectation. Like it really, that's an important point. So it has to be done how it's labeled and marketed. I think that the more the better of this stuff for me. I love it to bits. I think it's fantastic. It just comes down to how it's being. I think a lot of bands have learned the hard way, or artists have learned the hard way about how to describe what it is they're doing. So with Devin Townsend, for example, he's known for being eclectic by now, so he'll do whatever he wants, and everyone's completely okay with that. Whereas, for example, Metallica have a certain, shtick to them. But I think that if things are explained properly in the lead up to things, if it's marketed correctly, all that kind of stuff, then it absolutely can be a fantastic thing. I think that as long as those expectations are set, I am more than all in. I'm doubling. Like I love it to bits. I think that Lulu is a cautionary tale, but the flip side to all this is that Hetfield has done some country stuff, which is absolutely fucking fantastic. His live country stuff has been fucking great. I think it helps artists grow. It helps their creativity. It helps them to expand, find new horizons. And I think that when they come back to their main project, either what they've done outside has improved their craft when it comes back to their main thing, or they've gotten something out of their system, which means when they come back to quote unquote the main thing that the diehards want, then they're going to be focused on doing that, if that makes sense, as opposed to trying to scratch other itches. So I think that it helps because it's human. Like, we have more than one facet to all of us. I think it's important to express that, to get it out. And I think that especially in a content hungry world, there's really no harm in this at all. Like, what is wrong with doing this sort of stuff? I know a lot of people sort of get up at it, and I'm like, they want you to go back and do the other thing. And I'm like, I think we should all just embrace this. People are people, they're humans. They're going to explore different sides. And I think the more they do that, the more that the thing that, if you really want one particular thing, the more you'll get of that, because you've accepted the artists exploring who they are as people. I think that it's a better holistic point of view overall. I'm all for it. I think I haven't listened to the Tremonti Sinatra. I've heard a couple of tracks, but I want to sit down and listen to the whole thing in full, because I think he's fucking great. His voice really suits it. He's done a great job. But I just want to hear. I want artists to explore. I really do embrace it, and I think that if everyone else did too, then the world would be a much better place. We'd have more art, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's where I land on that one. So it's pretty much a unanimous front, which is cool on a little topic like that, which is nice. What do we got here? We've got some comments. Let's see. Tough says, if they want to look into other things, go for it. Sometimes magic can happen. Look at Queen and their crazy songs they did. That's a good point too. Yeah. Queen did some wild stuff, which is good. Tough followed up with, I'm a Judas Priest fan and I'm always buying the latest albums, even if they're singing songs about Loch Ness. What the fuck is that all about? And Rowan is here. He's got Mike Patton's Pronto old transistor. So there we go.
Thank you, Rowan.
Chris says super talented and listenable are two completely detached concepts. That's an interesting debate. Yes, that is a good point there. That can be had.
That's true.
Nicole says Tremonti Does Swing is bloody amazing. I want to check out the full thing. What I've heard, I love. But also, Nicole says Tommy Johansson does Aqua, Taylor Swift, and many more, all in heavier power metal style. Amazing as well. That's cool. Also, Corey Taylor does acoustic stuff, which everyone fucking loves.
Yeah.
Corey Taylor did SpongeBob SquarePants. Like, don't forget that. Don't forget that, people.
Dolly Parton's coming out with something too, isn't it? She's
I know, and I want to check it out.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Yeah.
I've got a record from Mustaine. He did a side project years ago called MD45.
45, yeah.
And it's a punk. It was more of a punk thing. I like it. It is thrashy. I won't say it's too far removed from the metal thing. It's not like it's not outrageously removed from the metal thing, but it was more of a punk sound. But I really liked it. I thought it was fucking great, and I thought the songwriting was killer. And there's two versions of it. There's a version with him singing it, and there's a version with this punk singer singing it as well from Fear. I like both versions. They're both great. So yeah.
Well, even on this sort of topic here, Cypress Hill did Rap Superstar and Rock Superstar, one album of one kind, one of the other one. The Rock Superstar is pretty fucking good. Like, if you can tolerate that sort of thing, it's well fucking done. So, and the two different versions of the same song really work off of each other nicely too. Chris chimed in saying Load is seriously one of the best Metallica albums made. It ties as my second favorite Metallica album. I care nothing of expected genres and styles. That is a very nice point there. Well done, Chris. Thanks for sharing that. Really appreciate it. Rowan chimed in saying, I'm reminded of Def Leppard's slang. I agree with this point, which was really cool, but very different to the usual Leopard sound. I like hearing the other ideas they had in them. Slang is an underrated album as far as I'm concerned.
It is.
But I love it. Andrew says, for me, underrated. Bill Steer from Carcass formed a band called Firebird that was a retro 70s hard rock band that worked really well. That is nice. Well done there.
I know the drummer of that band.
Yeah. Cool.
Played in that band.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. Michael says, a late good evening all. Good to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well. Thanks for joining us. Basher said, didn't mind Pat Boone's metal.
Oh, yeah.
Especially. Okay, I haven't checked that one out. I'll have to check that one out.
Metal Moods or something.
There's that band Arch Enemy. You know that band Arch Enemy?
Yeah.
They're quite big metal band.
Yeah, they're good.
Band. But his other band is called Spiritual Beggars, and I love
that. Yeah, they're cool. Very good band.
Way better than Arch Enemy. Way better. They got Hammond. It's like Deep Purple crossed with Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
With Hammond organ, and it's killer. And that
Spiritual Beggars are good.
That band could have been phenomenally huge and way bigger than Arch Enemy. And I was like, he should make this his priority.
But again, it's the artist exploring what makes them feel whole, which is, that's the point of it. Yeah. Which is cool. And that's the thing. You don't have to like everything, but just give it a go. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
that's it's interesting. I might like an artist's side project more than what they're really about.
Yeah. For example,
what their
Kill or Be Killed.
Normally.
Yeah. Kill or Be Killed. I think it's Pucciato. I forget his other band, his main band.
Mastodon?
No.
He's in Mastodon. One of them's
That's Brent. Brent is in Mastodon.
Brent Daler. Yeah. Mastodon.
But
that's made up of other members, isn't it?
Dave will work it out. Dave will Google it.
Yeah, someone will Google it.
It's a super group.
It is. But there's a member of that I can't stand his main band.
Right.
Can't stand it. But Kill or Be Killed, I fucking love it to bits. I think it's fantastic. Right. But you find that. You do find that with things.
Yeah.
I'm not an Arch Enemy fan, but I love Spiritual Beggars.
Yeah, there you go.
Anthrax years ago, didn't they? There was something about when they split off. They did that. They were doing the rap thing as well, Yeah. But wasn't Stormtroopers of Death?
Stormtroopers of Death.
Yeah. That had something to do. So that was a side project of Anthrax as well.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yeah. I like this stuff. Sally says, yes, it's cool. Crossing into other genres. Hetfield and you said both have done country and blues music. It's great. I can think of quite a few that work well, which is, this is the point. Andrew said, also on the flip side, Paul Anka released swing album of rock songs from Soundgarden, Van Halen, Nirvana, Bon Jovi, etc. The album was called Rock Swings. That'd be cool to check out. Nice. Thanks for sharing that one. Chris says, MD45 is brilliant. It's a shame Mustaine removed Leaving's vocals on the remaster, which there's a bit of a track record with certain things.
I like both of them. I've got both.
Nice.
Both copies, and I think they're both phenomenal.
Cool.
The one that got reissued had extra songs.
Yeah.
Had extra songs on it that wasn't on the original, and I loved it. I think both of them are great.
Nice. Cool. I'll have to check those out. I'm not overly familiar. I'll have to check those out for sure. Definitely.
Check out the Leaving one first, obviously. If you can get it.
I'll find it somewhere.
Really hard.
Yeah. Cool. Will do. Definitely. I'll take that recommendation on board for sure. Vinny says, this topic brings me to Rob Halford fronting a band called Fight. I think they were gold. Yes, they were totally removed from Judas Priest, but in sound, but very enjoyable. Love that diversity. And Fight was a very fun band.
They were a good band. Good.
Yeah. Very good band.
They came out here.
With the Steel Panther guitars.
Yeah. But Chris has chimed in with CC DeVille with his Samantha 7 album. Brilliant pop rock album. Cool. I haven't checked that out. That makes me want to check it out. I think CC cops more flack than he deserves, to be honest.
He's good.
Yeah.
He is a good guitar player. Yeah. Looks
Alrighty.
like a fag, but he's good.
Sorry, backhanded fucking whack. Anyway. Well, Belle looks like she's lost in the woods. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Belle would have agreed with that statement.
Yeah. She wanted to walk away.
What statement?
Oh, it's you'll have to rewind the show.
Rewinding. I'm not watching this again. I'm watching now.
Jeff said CC DeVille is a good guitar player.
All right, here's a thing, right? CC DeVille. So when I was thinking about guitarists today, I was thinking it's kind of a shame that Poison aren't part of this.
Yeah, it'd be interesting
because I mean, not rhythm, but he is such a good guitar player, and I would probably
I agree.
Try to get him as my pick.
Maybe he was wasted. Maybe he was.
I will say about Poison. That's it. You heard it right here.
Wow. We got something.
Maybe he was wasted in that band. He was wasted.
Yeah,
possibly. But he gets more flack than he deserves, I think. All right. Speaking of this, Belle's done a nice little segue there for us. Every week we do a Build a Band segment, and this section, this time around, we're doing glam artists. So that we did a poll of the audience. We take the top 5 bands. So we have to choose from Motley Crue, Warrant, Rat, Skid Row, and The Sweet. And by the time we're done with this, we have to have at least 3 of the 5 bands represented. So it's a must do. So there's at least a little bit of thought that goes into this one. Now, it's funny because Conrad, you weren't here for this last week, so I just want to quickly jump in and ask you to pick a drummer, but it can't be. It can't be Jimmy DeGrasso, Randy Castillo, Tommy Lee, or Mick Tucker. You can have any other drummer you can think of that comes from those 5 bands. Doesn't matter how long or short the stint was.
I love Jimmy DeGrasso.
Take Bobby Blotzer. We'll just
Jimmy
say
DeGrasso is a monster. Played in Megadeth.
That's right.
Yes, great player. All right, so it can't be those. So I don't know the drummers' names in these bands.
Yeah.
Just say Bobby Blotzer.
The Skid Row drummer.
Robert Fuso.
I'll go with Tommy Lee. He's a good drummer.
Can't take it.
Tommy Lee's taken by Jeff.
Tommy Lee's taken.
Yep.
Okay. Skid Row drummer then. I'll take him.
Robert Fuso.
Yep.
All right. Cool. Just to have that one there.
Decent drummer, actually.
Yeah, he's actually fucking solid. But solid. I think he's really good.
Yeah, solid drummer. Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So that's all good. So we've got Conrad a little thing there. So we can start to roll through the order. But just to recap, so we've got Rob Afuso for Conrad now. But last week I chose Jimmy DeGrasso. Jeff chose Tommy Lee.
He's my favorite.
Bell took Mick Tucker, and Dave took Randy Castillo. Now, remember there was some grumbling and grousing and how this is going, because Dave was like, I've got the last pick. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And Bell, I think you made your choice based on just what the fuck and just YOLO'd it, didn't you?
Yeah. It's just like this guy's a legend. I'm choosing who I want, not who I think people will vote for.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, people like The Sweet, otherwise they wouldn't be in the top 5. But that wasn't the reason I chose Mick Tucker.
Well, here we go, because when it came down to it, we had 2 different points brackets, and myself and Jeff ended up on the lower end of the score here. So Jimmy DeGrasso and Tommy Lee netted both Jeff and I 40 points, while Bell and Dave ended up tied first between Mick Tucker and Randy Castillo. They got equal first spot, so you both get 50 points. So the current well done.
Who did Randy Castillo play with? I know he played with Ozzy.
He played with Ozzy and Crew. He played with Crew.
Played with Ozzy. He played with Crew, did he?
Yeah, he played with Crew.
Well, as a fill-in,
he was their main. He was their main drummer when Tommy Lee left.
And
then he got
new tattoo,
got cancer.
And new tattoo album.
Tour here, and then he passed away. So when Motley Crue cancelled their Oz tour, that was because he passed away. So
I see. Sorry.
So no, it's all good. But that's the fun part of it. So the rules, generally speaking, are, just to give everyone a recap here, is that we have to have 3 of the 5 bands represented, and it doesn't matter how long or short the individual's stint was. It can be just a live tour. Doesn't matter. As long as they are listed as a member of the band, they can be picked. But they can only be picked once by any of us. So once they're picked, they're off the board, completely gone, done. That's it. You can't take them again, which we ran into trouble last time around because everyone got to choose their vocalists and they'd already picked them for guitarists. So that's where things went a bit pear-shaped. All right. So we learned our lessons last time around.
Jimmy played with Suicidal Tendencies and Alice, didn't he?
Rat.
Glam band. He played with Rat as well.
Yeah, Jimmy DeGrasso was in Rat. Tommy Lee from Motley Crue, and Randy Castillo was in Motley Crue as well. So that's
right. Okay,
I'll shut up now. It's all good. So we've shuffled the draft order around. So who goes goes first this week, and we sort of just shuffle it on through as the order goes on. So which means we're picking our first guitarist. I did specifically state rhythm guitarist, but we didn't really stick to that too exclusively the last time around. So I was thinking about it, it's going, okay, we'll have guitarist 1, guitarist 2. Doesn't have to change the thinking too much. Just everyone's going to pick what they want for guitarist. Anyway, Dave, you get to pick your guitarist out of those 5 bands first. It's over to you this week. Who are you taking?
Okay. I'll go with Skid Row's Dave Snake Sabo.
Cool.
He's a good pick. Yeah.
Good call.
Nice. All right. I get to go second, which puts me in an interesting spot. Who do I want? You know what? Oh, do I want that? Oh man, Rat have such a collection. It's not even fucking funny. It's kind of crazy actually, but I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Jake E. Lee.
Oh, nice pick.
We played with Rat.
Oh my!
He did. He played with
Forgot
Rat.
about Jake E. Lee.
Yeah, so he was in Rat for a while. Not for long, but he was in Rat for a while.
That's right. Back when the band was called Mickey Rat, but technically it was still Rat. Yeah.
So I'll take that one while I can. But while Jeff is in the corrective or I guess agreement mood, it's your choice, Jeff. Which guitarist are you taking off the board?
Oh, without a doubt, Michael Schenker.
I was waiting for that one to go next. Yep.
Played for Rat, Conrad.
Yeah.
He played for Rat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. Rat had all these amazing guitar players.
Yes,
I had no
they
idea.
did. Yeah.
Wow.
There's one guy, I'm not going to say anything yet, but there's one person who is a guitarist that is in 3 out of these 5 bands on their own.
Wow.
Hit you not. There is one guitarist that is in 3 out of the 5 bands. It's bonkers. All right. Conrad, your choice.
Well, the only one that I know of, I think Dave got Sabo from Skid Row. I'm going to take Warren D. Martini because I think he was underrated.
Good job.
He's a bit of a shredder, and I like, he was a bit underrated, so I'll take him.
Nice. From Rad as well. Rad are getting a good run in this little go here. All right. So, Belle, I know you're going last, but you go first next week. But what are you taking off the board now?
Oh, I tell you, it'd be so tempting to get Robin Crosby because, Rat.
Yes.
But I'm not going to. You. So I wasn't prepared for this. The brief was rhythm guitarist, not just guitarist. So I honestly, and I know this once again goes against everything I believe, everything I stand for. But I feel like I want to choose Mick Mars.
Wow. Nice.
I know he's not like the greatest shredder.
No.
He's
a very underrated player.
He's a good player.
He's an awesome player, and his
very underrated
contribution to the metal scene is undeniable.
He's right up there on my short list. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Right up there. Yeah.
So I sort of put him aside because I thought, oh no, he's the guitarist, but the brief was rhythm, and he is, but he isn't.
Yeah.
So stop it. I'm gonna choose him now that it's a bit more open. Mick Mars.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yep. He's got
That's
that name
awesome.
recognition too. So a lot of people out there will hear his name and go, yeah, he's a good pick.
Yeah, but that's not why I'm fair enough. But I'm not doing it for votes.
No, I know that, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's a household name. Yeah.
The bands are coming along nicely, which is good. So just to recap, Dave chose Dave the Snake Sabo from Skid Row. I took Jake E. Lee from Rat. Jeff took Michael Schenker from Rat. Conrad took Warren D. Martini from Rat. And then Belle did everything right and chose Mick Mars from Motley Crue. So those are the choices. We're going to do a separate video on this one, so you can put your comments in now, of course, always. But stick around because there'll be, not now, but obviously over the next few days, there'll be a short video, a 1 minute long video asking for your vote on which one of those 5 you will take to be your pick out of that list in particular. Let's see. We got some comments on this one, though. So what we got here? Vinny says, Vinny fight. Vinny fight was awesome. Listened to them just the other day, which is cool. And Chris said, I'm shattered. Poison isn't part of it. It just came down to the top 5, unfortunately. So there we go. But Chris saying high five Bell when it came to the Poison reference. Cool. Vinny says, wouldn't mind Vince Neil bringing out a solo album, could include a puzzle where you get to interpret him in Morse code.
Nice. Once again, comment of the night.
Vinny, every week you do it. You are so good.
I'm going to see Motley Crue in a few weeks' time, and
let us know.
I actually think they're going to be all right. I'm
to be fair, I saw them. Yeah, I saw them on the farewell tour here, and they were better than I expected. So I will give the devil their due. We'll see what happens. But yeah, let us know.
I would love to see. I've never seen them.
Oh wow,
I've seen them. They were good when I saw them. You can't really tell from the shitty phone video.
No.
Yeah, I saw them on the Feel Good tour. I've seen them quite a few times since. But, yeah.
I saw them Monster with Kiss. That was cool.
Yeah,
nice.
I've seen them a couple of times. I saw them with
Thin Lizzy. Fucking Thin Lizzy.
I was at that show.
Yeah,
nice.
That was a good night.
So they've done a few good shows out here, to be really honest. All right. Tubb said, here's a good idea. What family sitcom in the 80s would have made an interesting heavy metal band? For me, it would have been the Brady Bunch. Okay, I'm going to pin that one for a different topic later on. That'd be a lot of fun to play with. We'll pin that one for a later date. Chris has gone, Dave is correct. Randy Castillo is the best of those available. So there we go. What have we got here? Then we got Man Family said, thanks, catch you all next week. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed the show and you can catch up with the rest of it later on. Chris says, again, Dave is correct. Snake is a freaking weapon. So off we go again. Tubb says, thinking on silly ideas, would you go to the A-Team musical if they made one?
Yeah, I'd go.
Only if Mr. T's singing.
You know what? Just for the Mr. T part alone, it'd be fucking worth it.
Only if Mr. T was rapping.
Pity the fool. No, now I just think Eddie Murphy and Delirious. Hey, boy, you look like you killed them jeans.
Yeah,
that would be so good. That take would be perfect. All right, Vinny says, though, good pick, Bell, especially given his physical challenges. So there you go, getting some love for the Mick Mars pick already. Yeah. But Chris says, Mick Mars, guitar number 1, John Corabi, guitar number 2. That is an option if you pay attention, people. Michael said, if these bands were going to be real, would want to go to a festival, see backstage fights with the price of admission. We could combine it with UFC. That'd be a winner. So we could do. Chris says Motley Crue's tape operator is fucking amazing. So there we go. And Michael followed up by saying if they're on the same bill. Alrighty, we're nearly there. Let's get to the main event of the evening now, which is the King of the Riff, the concept album battle. That's what we're all here to get into tonight. This is round 6. This is W.A.S.P, the Crimson Idol.
Speaking of which,
yep.
Speaking of which, who won last week? I didn't know who won last week.
Pink Floyd.
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep.
Yeah, first time ever
Floyd.
Clean sweep.
Okay, I would have gone with Floyd too. So
yeah. So it was a complete clean sweep. It was all good.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where we're up to on that front.
The wall's gone through. Okay.
The wall is through. That is going to be in play. But for now, though, we are going to move back to W.A.S.P, the Crimson Idol versus Iron Maiden, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. There is reference tracks in the description box and in the comments now. So make sure you get involved in that sort of stuff there too. We've got a comment here. So here we go. Chris says, fuck, need another homebrew for this battle. So yes, go and get that and enjoy because we could be here for a little while yet. So in case you can't tell, we go through this and every week we knock out one album. It doesn't continue and the other one goes on to the next round. So like I was saying, today is W.A.S.P, the Crimson Idol versus Iron Maiden, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Both very popular albums. The commentary around this one was probably more lopsided to Seventh Son than W.A.S.P, but we'll see. But the voting was a different sort of tale when it came to the polling of it overall. So it'd be interesting to see which way this one goes. But let's take the banner off. Dave, let's go to you first. Let's make this hurt.
You know, it's hard enough doing these fucking albums each week, but doing it sober? Jesus Christ. Okay. It's easy to say I love both of these albums and each for different reasons. And we've reviewed both of these in the past, and Andrew knows my thoughts on both of these albums. I was obsessed with the Crimson Idol for a very long time. Yeah. Out of all the albums in this concept album battle, this is probably the recent obsession. While I grew up listening to early W.A.S.P, I never heard this album until we reviewed it for a W.A.S.P special about 5-6 years ago. Yeah. And from then, I would listen to this album every single day. And if I couldn't listen to the whole thing, I would at least listen to The Misconceptions of Me.
Yes.
The Crimson Idol tells a tragic story exceptionally well. You don't have to have had an abusive parent or dead brother to sympathize with Jonathan. The theme, be careful what you wish for, can certainly apply to many things in life for a lot of different people. If there's some unresolved issue in your life where you think that you will be better off once you achieve this goal, whether it's getting a high-paying job, the promotion, the house, the car, the woman, the money, the holiday, any dream you might have, where you believe your life will be better once you get it, and then you get there and you realize nothing has really changed. You're still the same person, with the same issues, the same demons. You can't outrun that shit. Sooner or later, you have to face the mirror. A nice little metaphor in the album, because no amount of success or riches will make that better until you fix yourself. It's such a cliche these days in the world of rock, but famous people in general, you see them going off the rails, and why can't you just be happy? You've got everything you want in life.
Yeah.
Of course, they haven't fixed it. Musically, this is a step up from anything Blackie Lawless has done up until this point in his career. I'll say Blackie because this was intended to be a solo album.
Yeah.
Whether or not it was wise to release this under the W.A.S.P name is debatable for some. Can we have a serious album with mature songwriting from the man who gave us Fuck Like a Beast? Why the hell not? I love growth and depth from musicians. I love how Blackie is willing to be vulnerable and open. It's a work of fiction, but he sells it with the emotion of his vocals. Chris Holmes apparently wanted nothing to do with this, particularly on the song Hold On To My Heart. In an interview, Blackie said, quite frankly, if you're comfortable enough with your own macho, you shouldn't have a problem with that song. I fucking love that song.
Yeah.
The drumming throughout this album is amazing. I'm focused on guitar mostly and lyrics and solos and vocals, but the drumming really contributes to the narrative and the driving energy of this fucking piece. The guitar solos tear it all up at the right moments, and the use of acoustic guitar during the ballads, the quiet moments, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Much like the part in the character's narrative, that acoustic guitar gives you no place to hide. It suits the mood perfectly. I love the use of recurring melodies and lyrics. It's the recurring thoughts within your own mind that can contribute to your illness, your outlook on life, your self-perception. And through music and lyrics, Blackie does a remarkable job of capturing these feelings of depression and isolation, just creeping back at you, regardless of how many distractions you put in its way. You can be in a room full of people and still feel completely alone. And he fucking nails it. I love the changes in Blackie's emotive vocals as the character's outlook changes. Anger, defiance, loss, depression, acceptance, defeat. I love how the lyrics changed in the last song from "Is there no love?" It becomes "There is no love." It's more definitive. He's given up. And of course, "I just want to be the Crimson Idol of a million" becomes "I don't want to be." He got what he wanted and it didn't fix anything. Every time I listen to "A Great Misconception of Me," that part gives me chills. I know it's coming. It still works every time. Admitting to himself after running away for so long, and unfortunately, it's just too fucking late. Interesting closing to the album too, continuing the narrative once the character is dead. Sweet silence, the whole "my father was the idol, it was never me." It's like the dying moments and his spirit leaving his body. I can almost see the light fading from his eyes. His dying thoughts, and his father still wins. And you get that kind of reference to the start of that song. Your privileged invitation to the last breath of me, and you get that last breath. There's a lot of symbolism and metaphor throughout the album too. I could fucking bang on about for a long time, but I will move on to Seventh Son. That's what makes it hard, because Seventh Son is my favorite Maiden album of all time. Every song on this album is fucking brilliant. The Seventh Son with Seventh Son mythology gives the band a lot to work with for a concept album. Is the child evil? Is he our savior? Should we kill him? Should we worship him? Who knows? First Maiden album with actual keyboards. Which hasn't taken away anything from their sound or their energy. If anything, it's made it bigger. And honestly, I think we wouldn't have symphonic metal today if it wasn't for this album. A lot of what became that over the coming decades, I can root it back to here. A lot of the composition, the ideas, and filling out the sound, very important album in the history of metal. The composition takes the Maiden characteristics of the galloping bass, the harmonized melodies, the dual solos, and amplifies it all to the next level, creating the perfect mood for this story. And the artwork complements it fucking beautifully. Now, Dickinson sounds brilliant throughout, and his alliteration we'll sing in the title track. It's difficult enough to say Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, but to sing it like he does it live, it's fucking great. And the opening clean tone of Infinite Dreams is awesome. Maiden always has some of my favorite clean tones. Part of the players, part of their setup, but just sounds amazing. Perfect note choices for the opening of that track, but Infinite Dreams is some of the best composition the band has ever done. The building of the drama, the progressive riffs, the energy, and from the drums, the shifts in energy, and Dickinson's fucking scream as it shifts. That is pure Maiden. That's the shit that makes you want to be at a Maiden concert. That makes you a Maiden fan.
Yeah.
The evil that men do, great part of the story. It's also great social observation, both historically and contemporary. Yeah. Once again, fantastic energy on there. Now, the title track. What an amazing song. I would love to hear Dream Theater cover this song. I really would. I had to get Dream Theater in somewhere. Okay, the synths are awesome. The harmonized guitar melodies over the power chords. It's progressive and the song unfolds nicely. This is the perfect example of what they're doing with the triple guitar lineup that they currently have. When they do this song live now, fucking great. Because there are 3 parts to the guitar in this. It just lacked a little bit back when they were doing it live then. Longest song on the album, instrumental section is perfect. The choral chants, the subtle build-up from the drums, and then the band comes back in. Now, most Maiden songs are in E minor or A minor. So as far as power chords go to the sharp or flat, you'll get an F sharp. So when that C sharp comes in during the chanting, fucking brilliant, because it's not a usual Maiden sound. They nail it with that chanting over the top. Now, after the spoken word part, there's like 4.5 minutes of just music. If it was released today, or if it was a Dream Theater song or modern Metallica, people would probably say, gee, it's a bit long, isn't it? Cut it back a little bit, it would be better. Back then, people just fucking enjoyed what they got. You get more of that thing that you like, and it's fucking awesome. Too much Maiden. It may not be a full concept album, more of a running theme. It's like reading a novel and kind of missing the final chapter that ties everything up. One more song could have completed the narrative and it would have been cool. Dickinson, there's a quote on Wikipedia where he says it's only half a concept album. There's no attempt to see it all the way through. It's more of a theme of good versus evil. When you have that theme, you can leave it open because that's a timeless theme. If you're dealing, you don't really need the ending. Sometimes leaving it open can work well. And the last song, Only the Good Die Young, it's a perfect ambivalent close to the album. I mean, if you think to some of the classic movies, we don't find out why Hannibal Lecter liked to eat people. It leaves it a little bit more.
Good. It tasted good.
In the sequel, prequel, you do find out his backstory. And if you haven't seen it, it's fucking hilarious. But yeah, I'll review that movie another time. It's fucking funny. Anyway, this album was the start of Maiden getting really progressive when they started moving into progressive metal. But then they stopped for a while, went back to normal. And then when the X Factor came along, they got some of the progressive back. And then they fucking nailed it with Brave New World. And it's been part of their sound ever since. Long songs rule. More of the stuff I like. Every song is perfect. This is a really hard decision. Both are landmark albums for the band and for metal, but I'm gonna make it personal. Long live the King of Mercy. I'm going with the Crimson Idol. Okay. I can relate to that album more. Mythology is fun, but I always prefer dramatic stories about real human issues and concerns. So W.A.S.P, get the win for me.
Nice, well done. All right, Conrad, let's go to you next.
Like Dave says, both these albums are just iconic records. They're both really difficult to choose. Both very different records, but I love them both. W.A.S.P. I saw this show live. Actually, I saw the Krypton live when I was re-toured, and it was stunning. It was amazing. So I love Blackie's vocal. His vocal is awesome. So yeah, brilliant. Just amazing and very dark and a great journey. Maiden. Very disturbing record. Yeah, disturbing record. For me, personally, I found it very uncomfortable listen.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that was due to my spirituality and having a faith. And at the time, I was 14 when this came out, and it scared the fucking life out of me.
Yeah,
terrifying. It really was. It was really fucking quite frightening. But
it's actually good to get that point of view across as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's good to hear you saying those things. Like, it means something, which is good.
Oh yeah, it was very uncomfortable listening at 14. Yeah. I've grown to like it a lot more now, and be a bit more comfortable listening to it now than I would have done back then. And it doesn't fill me with fear as much as it used to, and terror. So Maiden wins this. It's one of my favorite Maiden records.
Wow.
Actually. Like David said, it'd be my top 3 Maiden records.
Nice.
yeah, it's a great. But Maiden's going to win this for me. Seventh Son's going to win this for me. Just so many great songs, and the way it flows, it's just incredible. So,
Nice,
brilliant songwriting. Maybe the storytelling might be better in the Crimson Idol. That might be better story told because it's one sort of it's a bit
narrative
more
piece.
yeah, it's one. So that might be better viewed as a story piece, but this as a musical piece, or which one am I going to choose?
Yep.
I'm going to choose Maiden on this.
Nice.
Again, I'm sorry for coming up with this concept to you all and pitching this because it's been
torture.
It's been like I think we should have drawn up some more perimeters for this and maybe done it decade by decade and gone, what's the best concept in this decade? Because that would have been.
To be fair, this one's a bit closer. There's only like 4 years separating these two.
Yeah.
That's it.
But it's not quite apples and oranges on this one.
No, not quite. It's hard to
maybe apples and pears on this one.
Yeah.
Apples and pears on this
pears.
one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Use that.
So I'm going to go with Seventh Son.
Nice. Cool. So we're 1 for 1 so far, which means, Belle, you get to break a mini tie. Where are you going to go with this?
Do. Yeah. Okay. So Apples and Pears is good. It's rock opera versus a concept album. And we've had that before.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of cool because not only are you comparing albums, but you're comparing similar album styles, but they're not exactly the same. I don't know why I think that's good, but I just think it's interesting.
Keep it fresh. It makes it stimulating mentally.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so this is a little lopsided because I had more time to write out thoughts about one album over the other, and I had more thoughts about one album anyway, but I'll just read. Okay, so I hadn't listened to either of these albums for years, like over 10 years, probably closer to 15.
Wow.
It'd have been a long time. I don't know why. It just, it just happens. And it's a shame because they're both awesome.
There's a lot of music in the world, Belle.
There's a lot of music and a lot of music coming out every day.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm glad that I got to spend some time with each of these this week. It's been pretty cool. My decision was actually made after just one playthrough of each album, and that didn't waver at all.
Wow.
Even after multiple listens of each.
Nice.
So I'm going with my gut here. So I'll start with Crimson Idol. My thoughts on that. So you've put on an album you haven't heard for a long time. You get that warm, fuzzy feeling of something familiar. That's what happened here. So the first few notes, almost the entire album came flooding back. The opening track, I think, is arguably the best opening track on any rock opera or concept album. I really do. Because you get musically how the album is pretty much going to sound throughout on this one. It has beautiful, soulful acoustic moments, big rock moments, drum fills galore on that particular track, but they go on throughout the album. Blackie's vocals are so emotional, they rip your fucking heart out. And just in a few very clever lyrics, you get the story behind why Jonathan is ultimately on a path of self-destruction. Well, what sets him up for that? So the story continues on through a series of absolute bangers of songs. They all carry the same emotional weight that the opening track contains. So Jonathan runs away from home. He steals a guitar, learns to play it, meets Chainsaw Charlie. I'm just going to assume everyone knows the story here.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Sorry about that. If you haven't heard it, please come on.
Yeah, unfuck that.
So he becomes a huge rock star, drug addiction and life of excess, gets too much for his manager who threatens to abandon him. So, yeah, sorry, I've rushed through the whole album pretty much. But so the internal conflict he's going through in I Am One is heart-wrenching. Keeping your emotional shit together is tested in the next track, The Idol, which is set, just before he goes on stage. And I've got here, he calls his estranged parents after years just for their love and even just acceptance, but once again, he gets rejected. But I'm not sure if that's correct. I know that happens, but I don't know if it's just...
It's not really clearly conveyed in the album.
Yeah.
It's just, you get the phone call, then the hello, and then it sort of moves on. So it's not...
I thought, so there's like a spoken kind of track that came out a few years later.
Yeah, which is in the album. Yes.
Yeah, so I listened to that because that's what I first saw, but I listened to that and it sort of seems to indicate that once his manager chucked all the, the groupies and whoever was in the party with him, that's when it happened.
Yeah, he calls home.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's fucking sad that it did.
Mm.
I just wanted to jump into the album and say, I'll love you, Jonathan. Come and live happily ever after with me. You don't have to be sad forever.
Yeah.
So, okay, I just want to point out how awesome the solo is on that track as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, Hold On to My Heart. I'd completely forgotten about that song until it started. And it's just, okay, so my thoughts on that song are every song up until now seems to be set in a minor key, which is perfect for holding and building the tension as the story continues. But this song comes on and it's played in A, I think, A major to make my point clear. But it's the saddest fucking song on the album.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do they? I don't know how they do that. Like they were actually
using a major key to make a sad song is a neat trick.
Yeah. After minor, and just this heart-wrenching story, and then you put out this beautiful ballad. And yeah, it's ridiculous how they've done that. But it's amazing. Shit. Okay. So, and then it all ends tragically, and the album closes out beautifully with an epic track that seems to encompass all the riffs and lyrics that have been repeated throughout the album.
Yeah.
Dave, you said it much better than that and explained what I meant by that comment. Thank you. So, Maiden. I love finding out the story behind how ideas for songs and albums come out. When I was digging into this album, I discovered that it was the death of a famous psychic that led Steve Harris to wonder. She predicted her own death.
Yep.
And so that inspired the song The Clairvoyant, which in turn inspired the song Seventh Side of a Seventh Son. Apologies to all the Maiden fans because this is all in the documentary Made in England. So you already know that. But for those who don't, that's kind of how it came about. I think Steve Harris called Bruce Dickinson and he suggested let's make it a concept album and went from there, which is cool. So I'm not going to go into the concept side of things because I think either everyone already knows what that's about or it will be explained much better by Dave, Jeff, Andrew, and Conrad.
Don't undersell yourself.
Or maybe it's because I haven't spent time to really understand what it's about. But let's just go with the first thing I said.
Perfect.
So I'm popping out. Okay, so I will say they've nailed the vibe of the concept musically. It's just got that feel. I don't know. It's 100% Maiden, which is perfect anyway for the subject matter. I think it's kind of Maiden's sort of right up their alley. It's like Maiden plus Maiden 100%. Maiden plus this subject matter. Anyway, it makes sense in my head. Bruce's vocals are fantastic on every song, but they always are. I love that they've used keyboards on this album. Not all the way through, but definitely in the right places and used to great effect. And what Dave said about it sort of was the catalyst for all these symphonic metal bands is really fascinating. And I need to think about that some more because
I'd want to dig into that. It's a good, interesting process,
I think he's onto something there. I'm just picking out my favorite bits now. The solo on the Prophecy rings out like a friggin' choir boy. Infinite Dreams is just the perfect song and in my top 3 Maiden songs of all time.
Wow.
So this is their 7th album, I believe. Yep. So by now they're accomplished musicians. They're an accomplished band. They're pros at the top of their game at this point. So this album, in my opinion, is the most refined and polished thing they've done to date. It's undeniably fantastic and obvious as to why it's considered their best work and is a favorite Maiden album amongst their fans, or a lot of their fans.
A lot of love for it.
Yeah. However, to my personal tastes, these are also the reasons why it lets me down. I don't like it as much as previous albums.
Okay.
To me, it lacks the grit and punch that other Maiden albums had. Despite liking everything I'm hearing, I found myself getting even a little bored at times. And my mind would wander to other things. Like, what should I make for dinner? I get sausages out of the freezer, defrost them for the boys. So I can definitely say that it did not evoke the same emotion out of me as the Crimson Idol did. Besides the happy feeling you get when you listen to Maiden. Because they're all.
Yeah.
So my final thoughts are, I've always been led by my heart and not my head in all areas of life, and music being an obvious inclusion in that. So I'm going with the Crimson Idol.
Wow. Cool.
Wow.
Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well done. Well done. You keep underrating yourself, and you really shouldn't, because you make some very good points all the way through. So well done. Thank you for that. That was awesome. All righty. Jeff, you get to be a decider. Are we going to get to another one, or is it going to be over already when it comes to you? Where do you go?
Well, just for the record, I'm just going to say that my heart pumps blood. That's all it does. Anyway. Sorry, Bill. Hey, Dave, I think you'll find. Now, I like what you said about the prog metal thing with the symphonic stuff, but I think you'll find that Somewhere in Time was their first album that used keyboards.
Not actual keyboards.
They used guitar synth. Yeah.
Yes.
You could argue that's right. It is guitar synth. You could argue that. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm just splitting hairs. I'm sorry. All right. Yeah. Well, when you're follically challenged as a guy like I am, you got to split them when you can get them. Anyway, so
good to be me.
If anybody's fucking wondering out there, okay, you know, wow. All right. Now, so W.A.S.P, the Crimson Idol, 1992, Iron Maiden, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, 1988, or SOAS, as I call it. Seventh Son.
That's good. I like that.
All right. So now this is another round of album versus album, and it's brutal. This time the bands involved are closer in genre, however, and both bands are of a similar style. You could argue, loud, bombastic, screaming guitars, and both bands have epic frontmen. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Crimson Idol. So it's about the rise and fall of a rock star named Jonathan Steele. Blah 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 blah. We've heard this. Now it has amazing heights and terrible lows.
Yes,
without a doubt. It's a harrowing story from his humble beginnings, willing to sell his soul to the devil just for a chance to be a rock star, an idol to millions. Now this is Blackie's love letter to his fans. Those that think that they are ready to give up everything for that chance to make it big. Now Blackie wants his fans to know that it's there, it's all possible, and that they can do it, but it comes at an incredible personal price. The Crimson Idol is a rare story that doesn't sugarcoat that. Blackie lays it all out there and basically says, here it is, I'm telling you how it is, and if you still want it, go for it.
Yeah,
which I think that's obviously Blackie does care about his fans. Now Iron Maiden, seventh son of a seventh son, SOAS. Sorry,
good. That's so good.
Yeah. Now from the first song Moonchild to the last song, Only the Good Die Young. This
Mm.
album tells a story of good versus evil, heaven and hell. It's a classic duality of life. Light versus dark, up versus down, black versus white, good versus evil, asleep versus awake, life versus death.
Yeah.
Okay. Sanity versus madness.
Mm.
This is a story here is less about the consequences of one or the other. It's more about the existence of both and which path that we take, which leads us to one over the other. Which side that you're on and where you end up matters. This is a deep album, but just how deep depends on how far you want to dig. I, for one, cannot listen to just one song. For me, this album must be experienced in its entirety, in all its glory.
Yep.
From Moonchild to Only the Good Die Young. There is no fat to be found here. 8 songs, 44 minutes. What do you think about it? That's just tiny. It's not a really long album at all.
That's a short album in this whole context. Like this
Correct.
Whole thing, that's short.
And to be able to tell a story with this much gravitas in 44 minutes, that's some very interesting writing. Now, not a second is wasted here. There is no filler to be found in this album. It's a musical journey into the realms of fantasy and mysticism. Life and death, good versus evil. Which path will you take? Now, the title of the album is a little misleading because aside from the title track, the Seventh Son of a Seventh Son album isn't technically a concept album. It doesn't go from song to song and it doesn't tell a cohesive story. But it does. Yeah, there is a constant theme found throughout, and that's important. So, where the Crimson Idol falls down, because I think for me personally, I found that the Crimson Idol regurgitates some of the same melodies and themes from track to track, which some may argue keeps the story flowing, where Seventh Son or W.A.S.P doesn't do that. The only time we hear anything on repeat is the opener of the album and the closer of the album.
Yeah, the bookends.
Okay, so that is the prologue and the epilogue.
Yep.
Maiden deliberately put a bow on it, a nice, sweet package delivered fresh in 44 minutes. W.A.S.P, on the other hand, delivers a package that can at times feel repetitive and bloaty, that recycles ideas and melodies, not because they're good, but because they help pad out the story. To me, this feels a tad lazy and a little bit uninspired. It's a good album, but I have to go with my heart. Thanks, Bill. But this is why I'm actually giving the vote to Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. I think it's a better album. So there you go.
2 for 2.
Wow.
So, Andrew, you are the tiebreaker this week.
I am the tiebreaker. Wow.
That's 2 for 2 on this one.
On you.
Here we go. All on me. This is why I always go last. It's always this fun. It's always fun. These are the final 2 albums that we haven't touched on yet as a part of this whole process. And what a battle this is. It's got to be said at the top. Like these are 2 all-time greats that are both extremely loved by their fans. Like if you're a fan in one camp or the other, you will defend the album till the fucking hilt. Like you won't let go. For the bands in their respective careers, both of these albums were huge. Like not only did they reinvigorate their careers, but there are some all-time tracks that fans will gravitate towards on both of these albums. And it's a bit of a tougher one because they're a similar vintage, they're only 4 years apart. But there's also, if you listen closely to the composition, some musical elements that cross over from one to the other one. Like they are, in a lot of respects, interchangeable as a listen, and that's in a good thing. Both have wonderful mixes that serve the albums incredibly well. That have held up in like really nicely today. You still listen to these albums; they both sound incredibly fresh. It's fantastic. And the use of synth across both albums really does complement what's going on with these ones exceptionally well. Both vocalists utterly shine on these ones, and both albums, like I said before, are both critically important to the history of the band and their legacy. It's actually really fucking hard to go through this one. it was funny for me because I listened to these ones in the order of going from Crimson Idol to Seventh Son. That's how I listened to them, from one to the other. And it's funny getting the conclusion of Crimson Idol and then the opening track talking about if you go via suicide, you're damned to hell. Like that segue from one album to the other one was just a weird quirk in the way I listened to things, but it just sort of helped set the tone overall. Seventh Son, like Jeff touched on, bookends wonderfully with the little acoustic part and the 7 Deadly Sins and so on and so forth. That was a really nice part. The way that, begins and ends is really nicely done. Inside of those two bookends, though, you've got some of the greatest metal songs ever written, as far as I'm concerned. And it's what an amazing collection of songs on one album. I know it's, a loose concept or a theme, but you listen to the songs. Like, just what the fuck were they doing? Like, they wrote one hell of an album here. Mm-hmm. Moonchild, Can I Play With Madness, The Evil That Men Do, Only the Good Die Young, and the title track, just to name a few on this album that are all-time greats. There's great performances, fantastic writing. The mix is bang on. The album is an all-timer from this band, and it's an all-timer album from an all-timer band. It's up in the fucking stratosphere, this listen. There's a great range of emotion conveyed there. It's less of a strict concept album, more of a themed one. Even Bruce said it was like half a concept album. And the following point from what Dave referenced the quote of, there's an additional point to that where he says, yes, we nearly did something great because it's half concept and we didn't really lean into it. But the punchline to it was that he said, yes, it's about good and evil, but aren't all Iron Maiden albums. There's a point to that in some respects. But that said, it flows incredibly well as a listen. The way it moves, the strength of these songs, the performances, the mix, just one listen to the quote-unquote lesser lights of this album in Infinite Dreams. People don't talk about that song enough, I don't think. I think it's
great song.
Great song number 2. People really have slept on that one. I know because it's a victim of the company it's with, but what a fucking song that is.
Yeah.
And that progressive element that's on this album has grown into the band and where they are today in particular. But the epic compositions move so well. And like I said, I'd like to actually burrow into what Dave said about the symphonic side of things now that's sort of maybe offshot from there. That'd be really interesting, sort of, do the family tree of that kind of thing and just sort of see where
it back. Yeah.
That'd be a really interesting sort of thing to dig into. But what's impressive, though, Jeff mentioned this one too, is that it's 44 and a bit minutes, and they managed to not overcook this one at all. Like they could have fallen victim of that like really easily because there's a lot going on. It's all great stuff, but they knew how to edit it, which was just impressive. Like the compositions are great, the musicianship, the execution is phenomenal. There's great energy on this one. Can I Play With Madness is just what a fucking song. Like you put it on, it's like what the hell. The wordplay in it, the story on that song in particular is fantastic. And there's a certain joy in the simplicity of lyrics and melody and how it contrasts to the music on this one. Things get stuck in it, like The Evil That Men Do. Like, there's not a lot in that song when you dig into it. It's a relatively repetitive kind of a song, but the way that burrows into your mind and stays there is actually really incredibly well executed. Like, you can't dismiss what's gone on with this album. There's a lot of contrast on this one. Just how much fun this album is to listen to, considering how dark the overall theme is at the same time. They've managed to balance that light and shade incredibly well across of it. And it's just, I don't know, it's hard to get that right, but they fucking nailed it, which, again, makes this a tough challenge to go through. Then you go over to the Crimson Idol, which, in my opinion, is a more pure concept album. The characters are fleshed out. The development is there. The story is a complete story with a beginning, middle, and an end. I think this is what you had with sort of Streets from Sabotage earlier on in this thing and utterly perfected. Like what Streets had as an idea, this has gone to the fucking next level with it. With this album, you not only get lyrical callbacks, but also musical ones as well. I know Jeff referenced that too, and he found it a bit lazy, but I found it actually incredibly important to the anchoring of the story overall for the beginning, middle, and end. I thought it was that callback, the way the lyrics shifted, like Dave mentioned, how it becomes where is love and there is no love kind of thing. Like those things, those little details when it comes to grand or rock opera kind of storytelling. Those little things are important, and I really did appreciate that touch that was going on in this one. At its core, the story is about love, especially the lack of it and what it can do to a person, which makes it amazingly timeless. And if anything, I think the story of this album is more relevant today than it was back in the time it was released. The depth to this album in particular, the layering, the panning, little spoken touches, the vignettes in this one, it all fits. It adds to the drama. It helps tell the story on this one. You've got great attack in this one, like Chainsaw Charlie. The attack in that song is fantastic, to the utter depths of despair in tracks like The Idol. It's one hell of a ride that doesn't let you go from beginning to end. It's a heart-wrenching journey. The lyrics are stunning. Blackie just delivers a vocal performance. I don't think he's ever equaled it, to be honest. This was supposed to be a solo album. It's been documented, but it just so he shines on it, of course, but what an album to release. Like to everyone involved in this one, we got Cvlt doing solos in that one in this album, and everyone involved is just fantastic on this one. For almost an hour, I think it flies by. It's a desert island album for me in a lot of respects. There's fantastic solos all over this one, and the use of tempo to bring extra depth and emotion to the songs is just stunning. The use of crowd noises in the right points where it's just you get that the swelling crowd to sort of show the heights, and then the things in the hotel room and the manager leaving, and all those little details just again sweeps you away, carries you into the story from beginning, middle, and end. I think the songs on both albums stand alone fantastically, but I think also combined on both albums, they work even better as part of the collective. But when it comes to the Crimson Idol, the sharpness of the lyrics, some of it won't fly today. Like I'm going to get fucking canceled saying I'm a rock and roll nigger. Like in the context of the album, it just wouldn't fly today. And I know that Blackie redid the album and redid lyrics and all that kind of stuff. But
he kept that one though.
Yeah, but
it works in the context of what he's getting at.
And I completely agree with you, Dave. I'm not dissing it at all. I completely agree with it. I think it's fantastic. I just think that it's interesting how some of it wouldn't fly, but it's also, again, timeless. It's funny how he redid things but kept that lyric. Do you know what I mean? Like that. It's an important little moment on there. It cuts. The lyrics on this one really cut. Like you get, Bell mentioned The Idol. That song to me is what music is all about. If you can listen to that song in the context of the album and it doesn't get to you, you made a harder stuff than I am. Like Bell referenced keeping your emotional shit in order when you listen to that song. It's tough. Like that one gets me. Even the callback Pink Floyd-esque solo in that song, which references completely on the chord progression in the solo. There's a definite crossover there. You can call it, but it works. It really works on that song. Hold On to My Heart. It's like the fourth single from the album. That should have been number one. Like that is just, and that's a song not just for a metalhead. That's a song that anyone can listen to. That could have been perfect on AM radio today, kind of thing. Like that is just one of those songs that just cuts across time and space and genres. I don't know why that song isn't more highlighted by a lot of people, to be honest, because that is just, Bell referenced the composition of it, but just the lyrical journey of it, the hook in the chorus, the story being told, and how it works in the album, but how it's also completely perfect as a standalone song is just something to behold. Then you get the conclusion with The Great Misconceptions of Me. That's one of the best album closers going around as far as I'm concerned. Like it's just so hard to pick between these two. All in all, these are both stunningly good albums. Like both stunningly good. It's a pity one has to go home, but I have to go with the one that, in my opinion, is better executed as a concept album, but also the one that can and does often move me to tears when listening to it. And that's saying something for me in a big way, because I'm not good at that kind of thing. People that know me well know I'm not good with the emotional side of shit in life, but that album, The Crimson Idol, get right into your soul and pull a piece of you out that you try to bury and lock away for a long, long time. But that album will do it to me every single time without fail. And I've listened to it ad nauseum. Like I said, Desert Island album for me. So I'm going to have to go with W.A.S.P, the Crimson Idol. It's not a disrespect to Seventh Son. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, but just the way it speaks to me, the way it makes me feel, the way it executed as a story. One album brings me to tears, the other one doesn't. That's what it's going to come down to in this context. And so I'm going to go with W.A.S.P. At the end of the day. So there we have it. That's that one.
Fair enough.
Hopefully that made sense and I didn't waffle on for too long.
No, you were great. I just want to say, for the record, I love both albums. It may have sounded that I don't like the Crimson album, but I do. I absolutely love it. I've been listening to it since it came out, and I absolutely love it.
I only referenced bits and pieces that people said as counterpoints that I was raising. So it's not a shut back, it's a counterpoint. It's the old school debate mentality.
I just didn't think I was clear in my review. I didn't say, hey, I love this album. I should have started with that. But
they're both easy albums to love. That's the thing. That's why I said it's a shame that one goes home kind of thing. It's such a shame because they're both fantastic. Absolutely
I think it's a concept album. I think the Crimson Idol is a better concept album, if that makes sense.
And we have to get nitpicky at times. Like we have to fucking dive in and go, okay, what separates them? Because they're all great albums. All 10 of these albums have been fucking fantastic. So what separates them? And it's hard to choose.
Does anyone know actually how many minutes the Crimson Idol is without the bonus tracks that they add? Because I could not find it.
Just over an hour.
Everything I had, everything I saw was like it had the extra tracks, which are great, but they came later. I couldn't find the normal version of it.
Hold on, I'll be able to tell you actually.
I'm jumping on Wiki.
Because the only thing I found was like 26 songs, and that's the
57 minutes 47 seconds.
Yeah,
57 minutes. Okay, and that's what 13 songs is it?
10.
Yeah. So
the 13 would be the eulogy and stuff that came out later.
Yeah, Phantoms in the Mirror.
To be honest, you don't need those things later.
No, you don't. No. But they add to it, but you don't need them. Yeah.
But as a listener, right? Yeah.
Is Golgotha a concert? I like Golgotha. Golgotha
is fantastic.
My
God, I love that record.
Great album.
That's such a good album.
I love that record.
So overlooked. I reckon that's
it's a fantastic record. It's
my
really
two
good.
Favorite albums.
I saw that tour as well, and it was stunning.
Wow. I would have liked to. W.A.S.P is on my bucket list. I've not seen them either. And it really pissed me off. I hope they come out. They said they're gonna.
Blackie's got back problems. He's got a hernia or something.
Supposed to come to Australia, I believe.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if they do, I'm gonna go.
Me too.
Well, he did say I watched.
Start early fans up again, so we get some
coming.
cash.
But but for me, it's the first W.A.S.P album. And Headless Children. They're my
Headless Children is a fucking stunning release too.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? But also when it comes down to like just on W.A.S.P for a second, the debut album is one of the greatest debuts of all time, and it doesn't get put in that category. It does not get put in that category, but it absolutely should.
It should because it was great. Yeah,
I will argue that to the fucking hill. Even though it's not technically included, Animal Fuck Like a Beast is a debut track on a debut album. What the like that's a statement. That is a statement. Oh, and all the glam and cock rock and everything that's going on. No one did that. Like that was just something else.
No,
I had years ago. I had that when they brought that out, there was a place. There was like I don't know if they still have them, but they're called head shops. You guys, you know what that is? Or maybe it's some where you could buy like pot paraphernalia, smoking, all that stuff, and they would have really cool. Yeah, they would have really cool like rock shit in there. They would have shirts and posters, and I bought the what was the fucking 45 or whatever it was, the picture disc thing of fucking of him with the cod piece.
A mate of mine had the picture disc, and I don't know what happened to it, but it's probably worth a bit of money now.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was banned. I know the album. I know it was banned.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
What album is it? Because there's a W.A.S.P picture disc.
First album,
not an album. It was a 12-inch single.
Yeah, it was meant to be on the first album.
It was meant to be on the first album. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
I'll have to find out what it is because there's a picture disc up for sale at my local record store.
And it was released as a 12-inch single, but it was also released as a picture disc.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I had.
Bell,
And it was
Go there tomorrow and find out.
Find
Been there
out. Let us know.
weeks. Yeah.
If that's that'd be...
Full disclosure, I haven't heard any other W.A.S.P. I heard this album when it came out, and I've listened to it, a lot, except not in the last few years.
Listen to the Headless Children.
Headless Children will blow you away.
Gotta listen to that.
Golgotha.
Last Command, Golgotha. Fuck.
Golgotha.
I've heard this, the
Just
single.
listen to all W.A.S.P. Start from the start and listen to every album.
I'm hoping for another record. I
hope so. I think Blackie is underrated in so many aspects.
He is. Still not black enough. Kill, Fuck, Die. I mean,
Kill, Fuck, Die is great.
It's hard to find because I don't think the streaming services will carrying it.
No.
Kill, Fuck, Die.
So that drummer he's got's phenomenal. That drummer is just amazing. He's got incredible drummer.
He's had some good drummers. He had Frankie Benali.
So he's got
he's had a lot. He's had a lot of good ones. But are you ready for next week? Because next week is Queensryche Operation Mindcrime versus Dream Theater Metropolis.
Oh my God!
I knew this would be coming.
Can I just tell you who I'm voting for?
No, you can't, Phil.
No.
That's next week, folks.
Wow.
Next week. Operation
I don't have
Mindcrime.
hair, and if I did, I wouldn't have any by next week.
So,
just to make it harder.
Crimson Idol goes through.
Sorry?
Idol goes through.
Yeah. Idol goes through.
So what are we down to now?
Well, that will face off against
The Wall.
The Wall.
Oh.
Which is really...
That's a tough one, too.
That's... Wow.
We're down now to the ones that have made it through now.
Yeah, so basically next week is Queensryche versus Dream Theater. The week after is Pink Floyd versus W.A.S.P. And then after that, it's the winner.
Right. Okay.
So we're nearly there. But that's going to be hard the week after. I'm going to die.
There's four left, right?
Sorry, this was my idea. It's my idea.
There's 4 to go.
So,
man.
Sorry for this. We thought this was a good idea to begin with.
Those all suckers' choices to make as well. What the fuck? Okay.
I didn't think it'd be this difficult. So.
Oh, well, it's going to be. We're going to get to that next week. But that'll do us for now. I'll get to some comments, and then we'll do a bit and get out of here. Like I said at the top here, Chris said, fucking need a homebrew for this battle. But Michael followed up saying, yeah, Chris, are you all grain brewing? What style are you drinking? So there we go. There's back and forth on that. Rowan says, I never listened to an album of either W.A.S.P. or Maiden. I thought it had a pretty good idea of what each band sounded like, but turned out I was wrong about one of them. Which one? Ooh.
What? Never listened to Maiden?
What?
Rowan, I'm gonna. Okay, let's do a very quick blind.
Cash in your metalhead card now.
I'm gonna tip. You thought that Maiden, you got them wrong. I reckon you got Maiden wrong.
I reckon you got W.A.S.P. wrong.
No, I reckon you got W.A.S.P. wrong.
W.A.S.P.
Okay.
W.A.S.P.
Cool. Let's see if Rowan gives us the answer. Sonia said both albums are great, but Crimson Idol for me, it tells a story, a powerful one, whereas Seventh Son for me is more of a subject than a story, if that makes sense, which is what we've covered here, which is good.
Yeah.
Rowan said Crimson Idol hooked me from the opening chorus to the final fade. It kept reminding me of Def Leppard's Retroactive, even though they are really nothing like each other. That's actually an interesting point there. But that occasional similarity was icing on the top. Great stuff. I will buy this album and listen to it a lot. Seventh Son is really good too. It sounds like what I thought Maiden sound like. Hey, you guys got it right. So Crimson Idol for Rowan there. Michael said, for me, Seventh Son is one of my favorite Maiden albums, and I pick it by a country mile, but I listened to W.A.S.P. plenty this week, to be fair. And that's fair enough, too. And this is the whole point. It's all completely subjective. Yeah. No one's right or wrong. It's just...
I think that's something we set out when I set out with this challenge, and that is one better than the other? Are any of these albums better than one another? I don't necessarily know if they are better.
No.
It's just a case of what you might reach for over something else.
Yeah, and the point is to make it hard because that makes it worthwhile, kind of thing.
And also what mood you might be in that day, and at that time of day.
Absolutely.
At that time of day, you know.
And that's, to be fair, that's why I listen to these albums for days before I make a decision. I don't just go listen once and go, that's it, because your day, your mood can influence your decision. So you got to make sure you listen to it over a period of time. Yeah. Got to give it the respect it deserves because they've put in the effort in these albums. You got to give them the respect they deserve by listening to them.
Correct. That's right. Yeah, they both deserve to win. They did.
Yeah, they do. I'd be happy either way, to be honest. It's not about that.
Yeah.
But if you go back and go, okay, in a couple of weeks I'll listen to this album again, you're not going to be sad. Like, that's just how it works.
No. Every one of these albums, like all of them, the entire list, fucking great. So hats off to people for choosing them, what they did. They're all great.
There's nothing wrong with any of these albums, just that we have to be picky and we just making it because that's the point of the challenge. Otherwise, there's no point. That's kind of what it's about. Sally said, great review, Dave, back before, so that was cool then. And then Sonia said, that's it, theme. Thanks, Dave. That's a better word than subject. So there we go. Guy said, gotta love Blackie and Chris Holmes. Well, Chris wasn't on this album, but yes, I love the pairing. Chris said, hard one for me. Both albums are not fave albums of either band for me. Nice. Maiden would have been because of the evil that men do. There. Okay, cool. And that's, again, the point. You find individual anchor points that make you choose one way or the other.
Yeah.
Michael says, Conrad, you got us to listen and consider some of these bands who may not be our favorites. Well done. So there you go. There's some credit to you, Conrad, for picking the theme in the context of it all as well. Vinny says, to be fair, it was a tough choice, like trying to pick which finger to use for a prostate exam.
Pick me a winner, Vinny.
Well, there we go, Vinny. You're always willing to
always go with tall man.
Yeah. Well, Dave, you know that you went there a little too quickly. You went there a bit too quickly.
I have kids. Pumpkin, tall man, little guy, whatever.
The fact that you went with tall man immediately says a little bit.
I got to do that.
Yeah. Well, you could go with the big, Dave likes tall as opposed to little. Anyway, Guy is sharing a link of this cat is streaming live from Copenhagen. So if you're on Twitch, then go check it out. Nice. Rowan says, oh, yeah, the drummer on Crimson Idol must have had a blast. He's totally going off from start to end. That's true. Rowan also lead guitarist on Crimson Idol, Bob Kulick later of Kiss. That is true as well.
Oh, wow.
Michael said, Summer in Time was a different sound from Maiden from previous albums, and to me set them up well for Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Not sure who else thinks that. I agree. Summer in Time was what was set the table for him to go and move on.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
the guitar tone, definitely.
Yes, and also the way the synth was.
Summer in Time is fucking amazing.
Summer in Time, it's a great one. Guy,
I hope to be seeing. Actually, speaking of Maiden, I'm living a stone's throw away. I could walk. It's the closest pub is the Cart and Horses.
Ah, yes,
that's true. That's the closest pub.
That is
closest pub to where I live is where Maiden started. So it's actually done up with all Maiden stuff.
Yeah,
it's very much.
Go in there with your camera and film.
Yeah, go and film.
Go
in there and do a film for us, man.
That would be awesome. Yeah,
I'll show you. It's just down the street. It's at the end of my street, and I've asked them for a DJ gig down there. So,
good luck, man.
They would be lucky to get you. They would be lucky to get you.
Yeah, well said, Jeff. Well said.
Yeah. I'll be attending there quite often because they have a lot of bands on there.
That's awesome, man. Keep us posted because that sounds like it's an absolute blast. So yeah, I look forward to hearing what you get up to out that way. That'd be awesome. So please
Keep to do that.
Give us in a loop, Guy followed up by saying Testament on today and Pantera Light with Hailstorm, which is what is happening at Copenhagen, which is cool. So those on Twitch, go check it out. Chris said, yes, Belle tends to self-deprecate her opinions way more than if ever deserved. So there you go. And love there for Belle from Chris. Nicely done there. We all agree, I think.
It's true.
It is very true. Tough says, this is a hard. I choose Maiden because I like the Eddie's posters. Yes, I made it easy myself. I'm glad both bands exist. And that's ultimately the end of the day. That's the story. Like, we get both these albums. Fantastic. Vinny says, I agree, Chris. More cowbell, not in the derogatory way. So there we go. More bell all around.
No, remember, I prefer pigs.
We found that out last week with Miss Katie
we did.
References. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not going there. Not going there.
Bring on Kermit.
This is going so well.
Hello, frog lovers.
Conrad's like, what did I miss last week? What the go back?
Yeah, I'm very confused.
You might want to go back.
We were there for a while. Nicole says, Seventh Son is my favorite. I like W.A.S.P, but this album of theirs bored me to tears. And that's fair enough, too. Well done. Sally said, I listened to both albums all week and I had to chew through this choice. The impact of Crimson Idol still has me in its clutches. I'm with Belle. My mind did wander off on Seventh Son. W.A.S.P for me. There we go.
Wow.
Tough said choosing between them is like decoding this sentence. The next sentence is telling the truth. The previous sentence is telling a lie. And Rowan is gone checking out Golgotha next, but then oh no again. And then Nicole says, so bloody jealous, Conrad. Michael's on Conrad, next you'll be telling us you have triple beers for breakfast just to break our hearts even more. Yes, that will hurt. And Vinny's followed up with nothing wrong with pulled pork.
Nothing wrong.
Nope.
Just depends on who's pulling it. That's the question.
That's true. If it's Kermit, then
pork?
it's all right. All righty. Let's do this one. We're actually going to be out of here before 2 a.m. Let's get to the bin this week. And let's start with Dave. Let's go to Dave. What are you putting in the bin this week?
Yeah, I got 2. COVID. My whole family's sick, so fuck COVID. In the bin.
COVID.
Shit illness. And rain at 3:30. School pickup. If it's going to rain, it can be a nice day. It'll rain at 3:30 for 15 minutes just to fuck up everyone's afternoon. Everyone gets wet. Everyone gets home, and the sun comes out again. I swear, God hates children. That's what it is. Always rains at 3:30. So, rain at 3:30. God in the bin.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Sorry, comment. Sorry, I forgot you were there.
All right, Conrad,
he can handle it.
something else.
Wait, hang on a minute. Did you just put rain or God in the bin?
Both.
I think both.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So
Maybe bigger
that
bin.
has something to do with, there's a Bible reference there with the flood and
Yeah.
No,
well, we know what time the flood was. It was 3:30.
Yeah. as Dave slowly pulls his foot.
I don't know what you're complaining about. I don't know what you're complaining about, Dave.
Hang on, 3:30 in which time zone?
Drink your beer. Drink your beer, mate.
It's got to be about 3:30 where you are, isn't it? What time is it?
It's about 3 o'clock where I am. It's coming up to 3 o'clock.
Yeah, give it half an hour, it'll start raining.
2:45.
Time for a beer.
In about 45 minutes, I want to know if it's raining. All right, just for context. All right, but over to you, Conrad. What are you putting in the bin this week?
Sorry, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that. British banks for not giving me a fucking bank account.
I agree. Well, yeah. Well done.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Even though I've got an account with you, you bastards. You won't let me open it. Fucking arsehole.
Right.
Fucking nightmare. I feel for you, man. You've been through the ringer this past week and a bit. So
yeah. I have. And fucking Chinese fucking visa office.
Yeah, I know.
The visa office in China as well can get the fucking bin too.
You got Shanghai.
Like we all thought that you've had one.
Shanghai in Shanghai. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I got Shanghai in Shanghai. Fucking assholes. Fuck China. Fuck you, China.
Oh, you called me out for my Japanese comments earlier.
Yeah, it's all about balance, Dave.
Probably
It's all
can't
about
watch
balance.
this in China for all I know.
Apologies to our Chinese viewers out there, but your country sucks balls.
Dave,
The government, to be fair.
What's
It's not the
that?
people, it's just the
Your
government.
government sucks.
Yeah, that's it. That's fair game. Anyone's government's fair game. Yeah.
It's not the people, it's the people in power.
Not your people.
Yeah.
It's the government being difficult.
Yes, which makes it hard for everyone. All right, Phil, your turn. What are you putting in the bin?
Picking up dog shit. That can go in the bin.
Yep.
Yeah. It does.
Mhm.
Hopefully it does.
Pretty much the low point of my week.
Where do you put it, Bella? Where do you
Yard.
put it, if not the bin?
Yeah, well, yeah. It
Yeah.
does go in the bin.
It takes years to break down. Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, it's just I love having a dog, but you just feel like really fucking low when you're walking around the yard.
You got a
with a
pooper
bag,
scooper, don't you?
Scoop and just like picking up. And I swear to God, like there's more shit that comes out of the dog than food that goes into the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is
Greyhound
that?
shit's an epic shit.
How is that possible? I hate
can
it.
one up you on this, and I will in a second.
Oh, you
Yeah,
have
imagine.
two great dogs. I don't know. That you must pick up a lot of shit.
Yes,
Andrew.
I do. And it's me that does it.
It's horrible. That's my bin.
All right.
Dogs.
Before I get to my story, Jeff, what's your bin?
I got 2 this week.
Cool.
I don't normally have 2. So, all right. So this week there was now I have to preface this because this is a bit sober, right? There was a terrible accident in New South Wales.
Yeah.
Those people, terribly lost their lives, and that is shocking.
That sucked. Yeah.
And I was watching the news on it stuff. I came across The Project, that lovely fucking show, The Project. Fucking can't. They just glorified it. So I'm watching this, and some guy, I don't know who the fuck he is, but he goes, I had to write it down because I was saying it all night long, and then I started laughing because I'm like, fucking hell. But he goes, he's interviewing one of the guys, the emergency workers, and he goes, how'd you handle it, mate? And I'm like, oh my God. How'd you handle it, mate? I'm like, oh my God. And I just kept saying that over and over, and then I started laughing. I'm not trying to make fun of a terrible situation. No, who the fuck is this idiot? How'd you handle it, mate? I just wanted to punch him. I wanted to reach in the screen and go, you fucking idiot. Anyway,
a little bit of
that cunt's in the bin. How'd you handle it, mate? Oh, fuck. Anyway, and then now the next bin that I've got, this is a wide one. I'm throwing in a wide fucking net. Okay.
Yep.
So my bin, and everybody who has not listened to fucking Extreme's 6th album can all get in the fucking bin, because this album is going to win Album of the Year without a doubt.
That's a big call already.
It's a big call. So if you haven't listened, get in the fucking bin. There's room. Trust me, I know. I've been in there.
It's the Mary Poppins bag of bins. It never ends.
I'll tell you, Extremes.
It's pleased to see that tour you're getting. That tour you're getting out there with Living Color. That's coming. Up.
Yeah, Living Color. My God, they're good live.
I'm catching that tour over here as well. That tour's coming here, so I'm very happy about that.
6 Extreme and 6, man, they have fucking hit it out of the park.
Wow. Okay.
I'll have to listen to it.
It's just awesome. It starts awesome. It has middle and it has an end, and it's all awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, so, groundbreaking shit.
Groundbreaking shit. We never heard that before. Yeah.
It has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
I know. But what I meant was, it's like
sounds like a concept album,
and it goes, it gets better, and then it finishes great. So
wow,
yeah,
okay, I'll check
and
it
it's not a concept album. It's not a concept. Album. But look, if you haven't listened to it, my statement stands. Get in the fucking bin.
I feel like I owe you one.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's Buckethead.
It's the Mask of Vulcan. Yeah.
There you go.
I'll check it out.
That's a moment.
All right. So yeah, I just threw everybody under the fucking. I won't.
Yeah, I don't get as much time as I would like. I do want to check it out. It's on my list.
Look, it's awesome. It's just awesome. Yeah. So there you go. I'm done. Rant over.
Cool.
I handle it, mate. Fuck.
It's something, no disrespect, Jeff, but there's something very funny about an Americanized accent trying to take on the Australian accent. It just never fucking works. It's
but there's a reason for that, because I'm Canadian.
I said Americanized, not American.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll forgive you. How'd you handle it, mate? I'm sorry.
To be fair, you do it better than most. You do it better than most.
Wow.
It
just irked me. It was just the way he said it. Like,
it's a terrible show.
How the fuck do you think he handled it? You fucking
headed question.
It's a terrible show. I won't watch it. It's fucking awful.
Yeah. Anyway, fuck the project. Get in the bin.
Well, I'm not putting them in the bin this week. I'm going to put. I'm actually in the same vein. Just quickly though, onto dog shits. A secondary bin for me this week would be aging dogs and their bad hips when they're a big bastard, and cleaning up after them when they can't quite get outside on time. That's the next step, Belle, when it happens down the line, because our old girl, she's struggling a little bit as the years go by. The arthritis has kicked in, and she had a hard life before she came to us, and she's doing well. She's a great day and nearly 13 years old, so she's beyond the average by about 5 years. So she's doing really, really well. It's just that, unfortunately, as she gets older, things go wrong. She'll take a fall, and we have tiles where we are currently, which is really bad for her. So the move would be good too, because it's going onto actual hard floor, and that we should actually get some purchase in. But tiles, she just slips and it's fucked. So I'm looking forward to that part of the move being done as well. It's about 6 weeks away now, so we're nearly there. But So yeah, but cleaning up after them. If you think a greyhound's bad, try 2 Great Danes. I fill a 44-liter bin quite comfortably on about every other week. So there we go.
Oh, that's a lot of shit.
It's easy to do. But my actual bin for this week, to get serious for a moment here, is the ABC, believe it or not. I'm usually more of a supporter of the ABC because they've restructured their budget. They not only got rid of their political editor, which is fucking dangerous in these times, but they also decided to scrap the entire arts segment on the ABC. What the actual fuck? Okay.
What the fuck? I thought they were all about the arts.
There is some debate there that it's in violation of their charter, so we'll see how it plays out. But the ABC, I'm a supporter of. I think we need it. I think it's important. But to scrap the arts is ridiculous. We have had...
That was one of the reasons ABC existed, to feature the arts.
Exactly.
That's why charter on their website.
It's a shit show that's happened over the last 24 hours with the announcement of their funding changes. So, or the way they're allocating their budget, I should say. So
I know if they criticize the government that's in power, that they get their funding cut.
The thing is that I don't get it. Like it's just it's a boneheaded
That's what happened
thing.
to the what was that show? The Chaser.
Yeah, the Chaser got boned. Yeah,
they got axed because they were criticizing the government that was in power, and the government that's in power funds the ABC.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it
there needs to be a whole little bit change around the laws and funding of it all. But for the ABC board to think that it's okay to cut the arts is just beyond the pale for me. I don't understand it, especially in light of what we've been fighting, especially Dave and myself, for the last 5 to 8 years when it comes to community television as well. We've been in this fight for a long time, and considering how hard it is now, like we had the whole hot topic the other day about how hard it is for Australian artists to crack into charts. Without the ABC, what the fuck are we doing here? So that decision can get in the fucking bin because it is support the art. So do things like support us and support the other people that are independent and doing this sort of shit, because fuck knows where else is going to happen now, because it's just stupid. So yeah, on that note, shameless plug, I'm going to be doing a lot more of this one. Check out our Patreon page because it's fucking important. It helps us to do a lot more. And I know that sounds really fucking self-serving, but the honest to God's truth here is that the more I can get there, the more I can focus on doing this. Correct. And then I'll be able to get a lot more done overall, which will benefit everyone in so many ways. I've got so many things I'd love to accomplish and to get some help in that regard. But aside from that, that's about it. All our details are in the description box, including the link to Patreon. So make sure you like, follow, subscribe, give us a comment, give us a thought. Even if you're not watching live, we love hearing from you later on. So please do check it out. I think it was Darren got through the entire 5-hour plus stream in about 3 sessions over the last week. So well done. You're a fucking trooper. And so that was impressive to say the least. But we do this every week. We've got a lot more going on. Trying to keep this thing a little bit more streamlined than it was last week. And we've done pretty well today, actually, all things considered.
Hey, so it's 2 minutes to midnight.
I know. Hey, there we go. Well done, Belle. Nice pick up there. Nice. Well played. But yeah, that's where we're at. So yeah, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, follow us. Our details are in the box, so you know what to do. Check out our fantastic sponsors. Big thank you to Squid Ink Screenprinting, Alt-Cvlt Rockstar Finance. Their details are there as well, so give them a like too. Check out our TV spots every Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. on Channel 44 in Adelaide, every Saturday night on Channel 39 in Melbourne at 10:30 p.m. as well. You can watch those on TV or online via the CTV Plus app or at ctvplus.org.au. And for those that are already on Patreon or anyone that wants to join up between now and Sunday, there'll be a special live stream. If everything goes to plan, assuming Dave doesn't get COVID, there'll be a special live stream for our Patreon audience on Sunday coming up. So just make sure you check the inbox for that info coming your way as
Dave,
well. There's a lot going on.
If you can't make it, you got that cardboard cutout. You could just sit there. Cardboard
cutout. Sit them straight up. He's got to just.
You can barely tell the difference.
Actually, that would be interesting, Dave.
Like this is astonishing.
I forgot that. Well done, Jeff. But yeah, there's all sorts of stuff going on. We've got a heap going on. Next week on our live stream is Mind Crime versus Scenes from Memory. So that's another tough battle as well.
Yes, they get to listen to Dream Theater all week.
Yeah.
Yes, Dave.
I get something to both. I get listened to both.
And Belle is the same boat as me. Like, yay!
You'll learn to love it.
Both of those albums are fucking awesome albums.
No, to be fair, they're bloody great records. So here we go. All right, what do we got here? So Rowan says, yes, we got about lag. Oh no's, we're about the upcoming matchups. Okay, cool. There we go. Tough said, Carlton, the whole footy club, I'm done this year is over. I'm going for the Pies for the rest of this year. Ow! Like, I'm a Collingwood supporter. I make no bones about that. But to hear Carlton supporters say that,
this is wrong. You don't do that. Tough.
Yeah, but to be fair, Carlton have really hurt their fans this year. Like I
fair weather. I don't know.
But to be fair, but I want to say this. I don't blame Voss. I think this goes much deeper than the coach. Much, much deeper. But anyway, Nicole says it rarely rains up here during the cooler months, but I'd put negative 0.3 degree mornings in the bin. Okay, Nicole, I'm looking forward to finding that out soon. All right, Rowan says viewers count 7th Son 3 votes, Crimson 4 votes. So here we go. You got that one right. Michael said, I do not recall the book of Dave Relations at Sunday school.
That would be awesome.
I like that.
Dave preaching. Yes, I can do that.
Don't give Dave ideas, Michael. All right. Vinny says, apparently China have an aging population problem now. You can read it in a medical journal written by We Fuck 'Em Young.
Guys, he's on fire, man. He's on fire.
Vinny, you should write like the reject Hallmark cards. You really did. You've got great witty ones there. Tough says throw the project in the binge.
Yes.
Yes, I agree. Rowan says Jeff has prompted me to take 6 out of its classic rap for weekend listening. So there we go.
Yeah.
Tough says throw. So sad at fuck spot for typing. Tough also said use a towel under her hips to pull them up. My dog has bad hips. I use a towel to lift them. Yeah, we've got it all under control with her. It's just a case of she tries to get up and then doesn't. It's a bit of a hike to get from one end of the house to the other one where she gets out the back door. So it's just that's the whole process for her right now. Nicole also said negative 1 overnight tonight. Brr, it's chilly up there.
Fuck that.
Doesn't even get that cold here.
I was just thinking, Andrew. I remember my ex-wife. She because we had the 2 greyhounds, right? And no, this is not going to be like that. And so she ended up because the same thing with greyhounds, right? On a tile floor, they fucking skating all over the place.
Yeah,
and, that's a trip to the vet if they go the wrong way.
Yeah.
So she ended up buying. She went on. She found these literally fucking dog
things.
Yeah. And so they put them on the dog, and then the dog could walk normally. It was awesome.
We're looking into that now because it's starting to get a bit
help some grip. Look, it's worth it because it's not only is it embarrassing for the dog, they do get embarrassed when they can't. They do. And but to be able to just walk, that's like a liberty that they should be able to. If they can do it, they should be able to do it.
Oh, she can walk. It's just a case of just doing it in a timely manner for her. That's all. So.
But just like I know what our dogs used to do was because they would slip so much on the tile that eventually they started walking like down their literally walking on their nails.
Yeah.
And that's not comfortable either. That's kind of hurt. Yeah.
No, we deliberately keep our nails trimmed back to avoid that. But yeah, it's just one of those things. We are looking into that. We've also got sort of anti-inflammatories for hips and that going on. So there's a whole regimen we're going through now with an aging dog. It's just the part of the process, unfortunately. But no, those socks we are definitely looking into as well.
They definitely saved. Yeah, they definitely saved a lot of spills.
Yeah. There is a whole lot in that space. To be honest, though, considering the state she was in when she came to us at 5.5 years old, to get her to basically 13 years old, we've done well with her, considering how badly beaten up she was when she came to us. She was used as all fuck.
Yeah.
So,
well, you've given her a lovely life. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, she's happy to stick around. We're happy to have her. So that's the main thing for us. So we'll keep doing it for as long as she wants to hang around with us. And then when it's time for her to go, well, then we'll give her the send off she deserves because she's earned that and more. Sally says, yes, Andrew, when it comes to the stuff before about dogs, true. Rowan said, tough, can you come round and lift me out of this chair once this finishes with the towel? We're getting there. We're nearly there. Vinny says, my girlfriend can empathize with you, Andrew, regarding having to clean up after your fur babies with me dropping my beats after a spicy meal, but I can't blame my hips and she's over it. So there we go. As long as you get the toilet, mate, that's the important thing there while Conrad comes back in. Sally says, thanks, guys. Tough's laughing. Nicole says, thanks all. Bash says, good night, everybody. And Guy says, Dave the Revelator. That's another one there. Tough says, Indiana Jones and the search for an aging pension 5 in the bins.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a fitting note. Is there anything else? Anyone else wants to fucking jump in, or are we going to get out of here while we can still do it in a timely manner?
Yeah. How'd you handle it, mate? Yeah, no, I had to do that.
All right. On that note, then, it is time to get out of here. We'll see you all again at about 9 o'clock. We're going to move it to about 9 o'clock to start time. So 9 o'clock next week. We'll see you then. Until then, I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
I'm Belle.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Conrad.
We'll see you all again very, very soon. Until then, you know what to do. As always,
Drink up.
Rock on.
Rock on.
woo-hoo. Woo.